Good evening, friends. We are live again tonight. It's 91 days straight, so I call them episodes, I guess. So this is episode 91, which is actually pretty incredible, given the fact that prior to starting out 91 days ago now, I might live stream once a week or once a month and put out a video, every month or so. But back when Joe Biden, the day that the president was inaugurated, had nothing to do with politics, but just decided on that day that I would go live. So we've been doing that now every day, and it's day 91. So do want to thank everyone that's joining me tonight. I am both on YouTube and Facebook tonight. I've been exclusively streaming on YouTube, and we're on Twitch as well, but I've been exclusively streaming on YouTube for the last several days. Thought I would extend this out at least to one of my Facebook groups. So I hope you out there on Facebook land also will enjoy this. Those of you that are joining may or may not know about Dogecoin, which is a cryptocurrency that has just kind of taken literally the world by storm. If this is your first time to hear about it, stick with us and you'll get to see some of the reasons why it is so popular. And as it turns out, today was, in essence, coined Dogeday. It does happen to coincide with another day, but I'm not going to talk about that. But there was enough momentum behind the thought that basically the collective, if you want to think of it that way, the Doge community got together, and a lot of other players, if you will, decided to jump in on the hysteria thing. Companies like Slim Jim, Snickers, NASCAR teams, lots of different organizations basically used the momentum behind Dogecoin to gain more followers on their social media platforms. Slim Jim probably best exemplifies, a company that used the popularity of Dogecoin to increase their Twitter followers by 160%. So pretty amazing. Now, the day for many didn't turn out the way that they might have preferred it to. I think for those that are watching this live stream that has been following probably the last 7 days as I've started covering Dogecoin would be able to corroborate, if you will, or confirm what I'm about to say, which is to say that as much as I was excited about today, my chair, I'm just going to have to get a new chair. As much as I was excited about what the day may turn out to be as a long-term investor, as someone that has a strategy with Dogecoin to keep it literally for a number of years, all things falling into place the way that I would hope that they would. And my strategy, today didn't do anything but present a buying opportunity for me. There were many, that were hoping that it would get to 50. We talked last night in the kind of like the pre-show for the day, which is now today, that maybe it could get to 50 cents, which would have been awesome. It would have been an amazing day. It would have been a day to celebrate and just be able to show the further rise of Dogecoin. But, we'll show in a minute. Slater 969, hey, thanks for joining. I'm thinking this may be your first time to connect with us here. Welcome. I know a lot of Twitch users are, want to stay on that platform, and by all means do, but I'd love for you to come on over to YouTube and subscribe there as well. I'm actually going to put in the comments the link and everything. You could come on over to YouTube or stay right there on Twitch. It's fine. But I'm gonna bring up here in a minute and show everyone a number of reasons that they should not be down with regards to Dogecoin. I think it still has a lot of momentum behind it. Again, I think today for many, if they had the time to watch it and time it to a certain extent, it certainly was a time to buy back in. I did. I bought back in. I shouldn't say buy back in. I was already in, and I added to my position. I'll put it that way. And I actually have a limit buy order right now out on Robinhood in the anticipation that it may go down, a little bit more. It's at 31 cents and change right now, but it's possible that it could, make it back up to 40 or so tonight, U.S. time, before we say that it's, the next day, and we will see. Also, I think it's the case, and I'll show you in a minute, many times when America, quote unquote, goes to sleep, a Dogecoin will experience a upward trend. And then when America, quote unquote, wakes back up, it may take another downward position, and then throughout the day, U.S. time, work its way back up. But the general trend, the general line, if you will, from at least the last 15 days or so, has a good amount of upward momentum in it. You'll see here in a minute, and I'll show it, but it is when you look at year-to-date price increase, it is by far the top performing cryptocurrency that we have. All right, Slater, come on. You're going to come on over to YouTube. That's great. If you subscribe, that'd be awesome as well. Just want to briefly, before I get into this in a lot of detail, and I do have quite a bit to share, and we want to cover your comments. I'm very open to people's thoughts, opinions, suggestions, all the things. I see this really as a community. I don't have anything to sell you. The only thing I'm here to do is provide value, and then just ask that you return the favor. If you're getting something out of this, is to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you'll know when we go live again. That's my ask. We are trying to grow our YouTube channel. It would be amazing if we could get to 500 subscribers tonight. We're really, really close. We need about 50 to get there. We're working towards getting into the YouTube Partner Program, because that allows us to do more things, which honestly means even a greater ability to reach a larger audience and bring value. But if you can subscribe, turn on the notifications, hit that bell, that would be amazing. First thing I want to transition to, if you will, is I want to show everyone the current rankings by market cap of the top cryptocurrencies. And of course, you'll notice, or you should notice, that Bitcoin, of course, is number one. That's no surprise. But Dogecoin is number 6. Now, it's really interesting because it shows the number. When I sort this, and I'm going to sort it one more time, the number over here puts Cardano above it. It's either number 6 or number 7. I'm not really exactly sure how CoinMarketCap is doing this. Normally, there's no question about what it's doing, but here you'll see numbers. It says number 7 is Cardano, and then the market cap is 40,442,000,000, and Dogecoin is 40,231,000,000. So technically, Dogecoin should be number 7. It's been as high as number 5, so it is down considerably over what it has been. It's been as high as, over the last several days, as high as about 52 billion. So here's another interesting thing. So it's in 6th or 7th right now, one of the two. If we look at the year-to-date return, or I shouldn't say return, but the year-to-date price increase, look at the disparity between Dogecoin and then the next one. Dogecoin, it's been as high as 6,000. It's lost a little bit of that, as high as 6,000%. It's at 5,300%, almost 5,400%. The next closest one is basically 1,600%, and then we go down considerably from there. The next closest one that I consider, one of the ones I would invest in or have some interest in is Cardano. And I don't even know, let's see where XRP is. XRP is another one that I think I want to be invested in at some point, and that we have to go down quite a ways. I hear some good things about Polkadot, but it's kind of expensive when you compare it to Cardano or XRP or Dogecoin. Link, I hear some good things about this. Ethereum, way down here, right? 217% on the year. Bitcoin is way down here at 91. So it's clear to me that Dogecoin still has a lot of fire left in it. I'm going to return here to the comments for a minute and see what we've got. Why do you think that's happening? Okay, good. Slater 969, let me know exactly what you mean. I've just said a couple of different things, so I don't know if you're talking about the market cap change or the the fact that it didn't get to 50 today. Number of different things. Okay, about Dogecoin. Okay, good question. I'm going to do one thing here real quick while I'm just talking through. I'm trying to get something up and working, and it's not working for me right now. I think it kind of crashed on me, so let me pull something up here real quick. And I'll answer your question. So it's a number of things. At least I think it's a number of things. It's hard to say exactly what it is. But one of the things is, again, the not near as many people think also it was the case that many people, again, everyone did a really good job of promoting today, 420. The problem is a lot of the catalysts that people were expecting would occur. Some of those didn't occur, as far as I know, at least not yet. It may still happen, but at least not yet. Elon Musk did not tweet anything about Dogecoin. Coinbase, I don't think many thought it would happen, but Coinbase did not list Dogecoin on their exchange. I'm not really sure how much Slim Jim, it's cool that they did all the marketing they did around it, but I don't think that had much of an impact. And as it turns out, it looks like a lot of, or I shouldn't say a lot, but a number of what are called whales, in other words, those that have large holdings, it looks like they were in a selling mode today. I'll show you here in a minute how I know that. There's some proof of that if I'm interpreting right some of the data that's available. And I'm going to pull that up. Actually, I'm going to pull that up right now, and then I'll show it. But it's actually pretty interesting when you look at it. Trying to find that before I show it to you guys, but there's an article or I shouldn't say an article, there is a website that you can go to that will show you all that information. So you keep the comments coming. I'm going to catch up. Let me get this. Okay, I found it. Okay, so you're asking about, let me answer your question directly. And hey, Alexander, what a day. Yes, it has been. I've got quite a bit to talk through, and you guys obviously contribute, and we'll go whatever direction you guys want to go. This is for you guys, not for me. But Slater, I guess I'll first say, so you know my background, I'm not a financial advisor, accountant, that kind of thing. I do have a finance degree from Texas Christian University. I've been in corporate world, if you will, for 25 years, working with Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. So, I've got a fair amount of exposure to a lot of different industries, all those kind of things. So I have some, some background in a lot of those things. But why do I think it's gone up to 6,000? I honestly think most of it is because the community behind Dogecoin is so strong. And I think one of the biggest catalyst that really got it started was when Elon Musk, I believe it was back in March or maybe February, but not too long ago, Elon Musk, basically, said in essence some good things about the Dogecoin, not so much directly, but one of his tweets was, basically, hey, we're going to, take a literal Dogecoin and put it on the literal moon. And you may or may not know that SpaceX just won I believe it's 2.9 or $1.9 billion contract to basically start, putting people back on the moon. That's a big thing. And so, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. And so when he says something, he has a lot of clout, a lot of influence, able to impact a lot of people. And so that, got the buzz behind Dogecoin, and the community has just continued to grow. There is a Reddit group. I don't know if you're familiar with Reddit, but there's a Reddit group that is, I believe it's focused only on Dogecoin, and it is now over 1 million people in there. So truly, I think with this coin, unlike many others that have been successful, at least, there are a number of other coins that have a kind of a similar vibe to them with regards to, regular, quote unquote, everyday people pushing it, getting it, more exposure, all of that. But I think Dogecoin has uniquely captured the hearts and minds of, quote unquote, the average person. And so I think a lot of that has to do with people, believing in the coin and, helping basically take it to where it is right now. And you could argue it's not too hard mathematically to go 6,000% when you're for 7 years, a coin is, hovering around a half cent or less, and Elon Musk says something, that brings it up to 5 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, 7 cents, whatever in that range, then just the momentum kicked in. What I'll show you now, and I know there's a lot of comments coming in, guys, so I'm going to get to them. John, hey, good evening. I may not show them all, but good evening to you. Alexander and Slater 969, just hang there. I'm going to get to more of your question and try to help or give you my thoughts to answer the question even more. But Alexander is saying that he's expecting a recovery at about 37 to 42 tomorrow. That's true. Never goes up when it's supposed to go up, and special days. Makes me think of the phrase. So Alexander, it's really good. The phrase of, how does it go? It's something like, it's basically like, buy on the, precursor to the news and, ahead of the news. In other words, I think what happened in many ways is, a number of people, it gets really interesting, and some of these things are only guesses, but with regards to today, I think there was quite a bit of activity. $10 billion worth more, I guess, in one way of looking at it yesterday, because it was about 50 billion in market cap yesterday. It's at this point in time right here now 40 billion. So there's 10 billion less in market cap. So there's more activity yesterday. I believe more people buying yesterday, more people selling today. I think a lot of people that are not in this for the long term, and no offense to them, but not super knowledgeable themselves about it, and not necessarily taking in taking in a lot of things like this live stream or others, or doing their own research. When it didn't get to the 50 cents that they were expecting it to, then they started selling. The smaller, those that had just $200, $500, whatever those investments would be, and not trying to minimize them, but those are certainly small compared to moving several thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And basically a lot of people, I think, got out, started thinking, okay, I'm not going to make this quick $300, quick $100 that I thought I was going to make. I vaguely heard that this thing called Dogecoin is going to get to 50 cents, and I want to get in. I was following today a couple of Discord groups and some Reddit groups, and it's evident to me, and again, it's not, I'm not saying this in a negative fashion, it just is what it is, and will always be transparent here, so hopefully that's something you will come back for. But it's evident to me that there, again, are a lot of people that don't know much about this, and they are moved primarily by, what they're hearing, peripheral things that are happening. And the reason I say that, I was watching in Discord today as it was initially being hyped, people literally asking it right in the middle of it, how do I go buy Dogecoin? Now, I realize that, again, that's not bad at all. It's good, actually. It's good that people are wanting to get into it. That will ultimately take Dogecoin or any altcoin or any stock, even for that matter. Just look at GameStop. The hype behind that, the community behind that can obviously have a great impact. So we want more people coming in, but many of these new people didn't have the mindset of buying and holding. They didn't have the understanding of up and down cycles, all of those kind of things. So I think all of that came together to spell, a day which just, again, did not perform the way that that some wanted it to. Again, I'll reiterate that as much as I would have liked to have seen it go up to 50, 69, 54, whatever the number was that people were thinking of, it would have been fun. It would have made history. I had a live stream going overnight, mostly just to capture history if it was made. Not quite the history we were hoping for, but we'll just have to wait for another day, because I'm quite confident that it's going to make it to that 50 cents. It's going to make it to that dollar, unless everybody just completely abandons Dogecoin. And I don't think that's going to happen, at least anytime soon. If it doesn't just get abandoned by everyone, it's going to continue to go up. And I've been saying this for the last several days, and it could prove to be wrong if it happens. If it happens and then it doesn't make a difference. But I believe that when Coinbase, and I'm going to say this in a kind of as if it's going to happen, there's no guarantee that it's going to happen, but when Coinbase decides to list Dogecoin, I think that will make a big difference. It will be just one more notch on the belt, if you will, for Dogecoin, just legitimizing it even that much further. So yes, Slater, very much so. It probably is the single biggest factor. I don't want to say that there's not some fundamentals behind Dogecoin. I don't believe that it has zero utility. There are a number of articles you can find on the internet and videos that you can find on the internet from Yahoo Finance and CNBC and various others that say that it doesn't have any utility at all, that it's not like Bitcoin, it's inflationary. And I say, no, duh, it wasn't intended to be like Bitcoin, number one, and that's not bad. Bitcoin is more so a store of value, like a digital gold, if you will. And it has its purpose. And by the way, there are many that think Bitcoin might go to 200,000. I'm not saying this year, but over the next several years. So I think Bitcoin is at least fractional shares. I shouldn't say shares, coins, fractional coins. If you can't buy a whole one, Robinhood or anywhere where you can get less than one whole coin of Bitcoin, I think that that's a place that you should consider putting some of your money. I think Ethereum is another one. Both of those are down from their all-time highs. They're working their way back up to their previous highs, and they'll go beyond their 52-week high probably this year on their way to, who knows, 5x, 6x, don't know. But that would give you some diversity. You'd be able to have a portfolio that is more balanced and not exposed to just any one coin. So that's something I would recommend. Cardano also, I think, is going to be, a very good investment. So, but yes, I believe that the people, if you will, are a large part of the reason why Dogecoin has done as good as it has. One other thing I will say, transaction costs are considerably less. Dogecoin is faster to use, if you will, as a form of paying for goods and services. And it seems like every day, and I've got a few articles to show you to prove this, but it seems like every day more and more merchants are beginning to accept Dogecoin for payment of said goods and services, and even paying others. Now, most of these companies, just so it's clear, are not receiving Dogecoin or paying Dogecoin necessarily directly. Sometimes there is a, think of it as a credit card processing company that also does crypto, and they'll do the convert any crypto into US dollars. BitPay is what it's called. And I read a little bit more today, so I have a little bit better understanding, perspective about how this works, because the Dallas Mavericks, for example, will, Mark Cuban has made it, public knowledge, I think, for marketing purposes, but which again is great for Dogecoin, that they accept Dogecoin to buy tickets and merchandise, and they're also apparently the merchant that has processed the most Dogecoin for said goods and services. It's not clear to me which approach they take, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So from what I can gather with BitPay, you have two options. In other words, you're the Mavericks, let's say, and someone wants to buy a ticket or a jersey or whatever else the Mavericks sell, and they want to use their Dogecoin to do that. Well, from the buyer's standpoint, it's the same regardless, right? And I'm going to get to all these comments because there's quite a few of them coming through here, so hang with me. With the buyer, they're using their Dogecoin. That part's consistent across the board. Goes to BitPay, and then BitPay, from what I can tell, can either pay the merchant in US dollars, or they can transfer basically that digital currency into that merchant's wallet if they have it. BitPay may act as a custodian. I'm not sure. Or they may then transfer it to Coinbase. I think that's how it's working in some cases. And then Coinbase acts as the custodian because I do know that there's some integration there. So whether the Mavericks are taking their payment in US dollars or Dogecoin, I'm not sure. But I know that that's possible. And it probably depends on what the merchant is planning on doing. My guess is those that are taking Bitcoin for payment, they're probably actually putting the Bitcoin on their balance sheet. I know some are. Alexander, it's really hard with crypto. Yep. Yep, Alexander, that's right. I know that you're working on, and I think it's a reasonable strategy. When I say reasonable, I mean it makes sense. It's all about someone's goals, and if you want to day trade token, coin, crypto, by all means, knock yourself out, and that's perfectly fine. And there's some scenarios where that makes a ton of sense. There are other scenarios that it may not make sense necessarily, but you get to choose which approach you want to take. I was going to take that approach today as well, but the opportunity didn't present itself, and I'll explain what I mean by that here in just a second. But I did dollar cost average at least today, so I did buy in a dip. It had a very small impact on my average cost, but it did lower my average cost some. It was incremental, so I didn't take profits, but I put a little bit more into it. But now I have more Dogecoin, so when, not if, as far as I'm concerned, but when it goes up to 50, 60, 70, 80, $1, I'm going to have more profit on paper. And I say on paper because I'm not taking a large portion of that out at that point. Now, along the way, just like Alexander's doing, I may choose, and there is some risk in doing this, but I may choose at times to sell some in order to increase my holdings in Dogecoin, knowing and anticipating that's going to appreciate over time, and that the impact of doing that is a net gain. So you can't argue with that. Now you have to be careful, obviously, that if you take some profits with the expectation that you're going to buy more with the profits, that if there's a really big price swing and you miss it before you can buy more, then you have to do two or three things, right? You either have to wait, hope that there's going to be a dip, and a lot of times there is, or you buy more at more than what your original average cost is, and again, still the net result could be good. But in my story, I'm not going to recount it all because I've said it now about 3 times, but I attempted something similar to that, and it backfired a little bit on me because it happened to be that fateful day where it went almost up to 50, 48 and change. And so I had to wait about a day and a half to get back in. I sold my whole position at that point in time, and I think learned a couple of things. I don't think I will ever sell the whole thing again and then try to get back in. I should take a smaller percentage of the profits to do that. But yeah, I think it's a very valid approach, again, depending on your goals. And again, I said earlier in the stream, before everyone that's on right now joined, but I completely agree. And today, in my opinion, for someone that's looking at this long-term, ultimately, even if you may be buying and selling some to get more in the dip and that type of thing, but ultimately, today, for me, was a buying opportunity. I mentioned this at the beginning, but I think we've got some new folks on. I might not have mentioned this, but I have a limit buy in right now, for 26 cents. We'll see if it gets there. And I've said this before, but the thing I like about this, or what I like about the flexibility I believe you have when you have a long-term view ultimately, is that a day like today doesn't have to be a downer. It can just be a day that didn't quite get you to your ultimate goal, but your ultimate goal is not going to occur in a day anyway. We're going to incrementally get to where we're at some point $1. Will it happen this year or not? I don't know. Why don't you guys tell me? Do you think we will get to $1 at some point this year, or do you think it'll be 2022? I think without a shadow of a doubt, and of course anything could happen, but I think surely in 2022 we'll get to $1. We've got a lot of this year still left. I'm optimistic we'll get to $1 and beyond before the year is out. There is again 8 months of, or 7.5 months of very positive things that can happen to get us to that goal. Elongate. What you talking about, John? Sorry, I've been rambling, and maybe that should make sense to me, but what are you asking or saying about elongate? Sorry. Pulled out at 39 this morning before the huge dip. So glad I did. Didn't trust the stagnation. Yeah. So are you saying you pulled out? You're saying you got out completely? Or what do you mean when you say you pulled out? So while we're looking for waiting for some others to join and some comments, I do want to pull up and show you something else that I thought was really cool. I've been wanting to find out how to look at, kind of have some visibility into what's happening behind the scenes. And this link here, I really just found this today, and others are using it and referencing it. So I think it's actually legitimate, and I'm not sure I'm interpreting this 100% correct, but this is basically a Dogecoin address, if you will, or wallet, and shows the holdings of this wallet and the transactions. And I think given the volume, the number of Doge here, that this would probably be considered a whale, because if I'm looking at this right, 470 million Doge. And so if we go down here, I'm not going to look at this chart because I'm honestly not sure what each line stands for because I haven't bothered looking at it. But here in this, basically like a spreadsheet, this is the telling part. And look at the time here. So all of these are 420. And it's funny to me that why would someone basically buy just one Doge? I don't know if some of this is programmatic. I'm going to learn even more over time. But here's the big stuff, right? 1854. I don't know if this is Central Standard Time or whatever. I'm going to assume Central Standard Time. So almost 7 o'clock tonight, 2 million sold. A million. Another million sold just a few minutes prior to that. Another million sold just a few minutes prior to that. Look over here for a minute at the balance. And I know this is kind of small, but the balance as of right now in US dollars is 148 million. Let's see if that matches up here where the balance is a little bit different. So I don't know the discrepancy here. It says 144. Maybe it doesn't update these transactions immediately, but look at this for a moment. So 148 million as of 2151. I'm not going to try to do the translation right now, but what is that, 10 o'clock or whatever? I'm going to scroll all the way down to wherever the bottom is of this, and look at it, on the 16th, and there's even more. I'm not going to go to the next page. On the 16th of this month, they had 240 million. And they had 690 million Doge, and look where they're at right now. 470. So they've what is that? I'm just going to call it easy math. What is that? 200 billion roughly of Dogecoin that they have liquidated or sold. So that gives you, and this is just one wallet. Generally speaking, it's believed that over 50%, 50+% of all the Dogecoin out there is in the hands of 20 wallets. I won't say people, but I think it's probably, equates to people, if you will. But I'll show you a few other things here, which are kind of interesting. Let's go to the rich list here. Look at this table here. This is a Dogecoin distribution, and I'm going to come back to the comments here in just a minute. But those that have 0 to 0.001 Doge is worth not much, right? But here's where it gets interesting to look down here. As far, and I don't know what this, that's the number, I guess that's the number of addresses, right? So here's where it becomes, so 11 addresses have between am I looking at that right? 1 billion, 1 billion to 10 billion. And this is the actual breakdown of coins. So that doesn't actually add up. So I'm not sure. I just found this today, so I have to admit I've got to interpret this better. But it is a good picture, I think, of how you could argue unevenly distributed this is. So a large percentage of the Dogecoin out there is in the hands of fewer people than many might think. Hey, Sean. Yeah, 420. How was 420 for you? Well, I've been telling those that have been on that for me it was a buying opportunity, really. So as much as I would have liked for it to reach the 50-cent mark, would have been a great day for Doge. It would have been something that went down in history, if you will, all those kind of things. But it was a buying opportunity for me. I did buy some more. I missed, unfortunately, it went down, and I'll show here in a minute exactly where it ended, if you will, within a 24-hour period. But I missed a point where it got down around 26 cents. I think that was the lowest that it got down today. Don't hold me on that. I can't remember. There's way too many numbers, so I'll pull up my Webull app here in just a minute. But I missed it. I have to do other things as well. Missed it at 26, but I got in at around 33 or 4, I think, and got some more. So it was just a buying opportunity for me. I don't know, John. Are you saying did he create his own crypto to do that? I'm not sure, but what I did read today, which I thought was interesting, there are a couple of articles, and I might have captured one of them. I'll have to go look and see if I saved a short bookmark for it. But there have been some charities that have been, basically given Dogecoin or Bitcoin or others. I've actually been thinking about the possibility. I'm the president of a nonprofit right now. I'll be serving for 2 years, and then someone else will take my place. I've been thinking about trying to set up a some kind of an account. Maybe it's Coinbase where we do it. I don't know, where we can, basically where people can donate Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, honestly, anything I guess they want to give us within reason. Probably should limit it to the ones that are, definitely that we know are legitimate, if you will. But yeah, I don't know, John. If you find out more about that, let us know. Put it in the comments or in the chat what it is, but I'm not really sure about that. Oh, okay. Pulled out completely, bought back in at 29,000 extra coins, sitting at 3,600. Good job. That's awesome, man. Awesome. XRP and BNB on the rise. Watch out. Yeah, I think XRP, I know less about BNB, I guess, but XRP, sorry, my cord got stuck on my foot here. I don't have a position in XRP right now. I'm honestly waiting to see if it gets listed again, maybe, or I don't know if it was ever on Robinhood. I'm pretty sure it was on Webull, and then they delisted it because of the problems they're having. I know Coinbase delisted it. Kind of want to wait until I can have most of my crypto in one place. I honestly don't want to have 10 or 12 different accounts to do that. Wanted to pull up another article here and just talk through it a little bit. I won't talk through the whole thing, but it's these kind of articles. I think in many ways it's not 100% positive on Dogecoin, but I think honestly it's more positive than negative, because I think people will be able to excuse some of the bias that's in here towards thinking Dogecoin is a joke, but it ultimately, I think, helps legitimize it as well. But of course, the headline here says Dogeday nears and Dogecoin is no longer a joke. Obviously, as we've been talking about, what was anticipated did not happen today. But again, I don't think we have to focus too much on that. I mean, it didn't happen, but it's only a matter of time, I think, before we're going to get to the levels that we were hoping for today. Dogecoin's rise, I'm not going to read all of this, but Dogecoin's rise from quirky meme into a widely traded asset worth $50 billion. And of course it was yesterday. Again, it's in the 40s right now, but worth over $50 billion, more than Marriott International or Ford Motor Company. Think of that for a minute. And actually for a little while, it's not the case now, because again, it dropped some today, but it was also worth more than Twitter. Twitter's about $53 billion. And there for a period of time, Dogecoin was actually also market cap wise worth more than Twitter. Is the latest act of financial alchemy by rapidly moving individual investors who have used access to no-fee trading platforms and a wave of government stimulus money to transform markets over the past year. Now, I think this is just someone's wild guess, honestly. I agree and believe that these no-fee trading platforms has opened up opportunities to people that would otherwise not get into this, because the traditional exchanges charging even as low as $6 is still hefty kind of thing. If you're getting charged on both ends, on the buy and the sell, that's $12. And when we're dealing with some of these currencies that aren't in the hundreds, 200s, or even the double digits dollar wise, then that would eat into your profit considerably. So I do accept and believe the fact that platforms like Robinhood and Webull, and I'm curious I know a lot of y'all have talked about other exchanges that you're using. What other exchanges are you guys aware of where you can get Dogecoin that's free? I mean, I know that Binance is one that has it. When Coinbase listed, obviously they'll have it, and others, but most of those that I'm aware of, other ones have some kind of transaction fee. I don't know if Qcoin does or if Kraken does, but I'm not so certain that this part about the stimulus money being spent on cryptocurrency. I honestly don't think that's necessarily the case. It's probably the case in some situations, but I would challenge someone to do some kind of a poll, if you will, a scientific poll, as much as they can be scientific, before I would even attempt to make this statement. But nonetheless, they've made it in this article. The cryptocurrency rise is reminiscent of GameStop's stunning advanced earlier in the year, and as we know, GameStop was propped up almost 100% by Reddit groups, and then others that probably never have even heard of Reddit, other than in reading stuff on social media, and others, let alone actually be in it. But it certainly helped it, and probably the single primary reason that GameStop ended up where it was at, or AMC maybe to a lesser extent, those types of things. But this time, Dogecoin's buyers have gone a step further, turning what was meant as a parody, and that's true, into a real asset, providing some traders who piled in early with unimaginable gains. As I mentioned last night, and I think I mentioned it the night before as well, I heard one report that said that 9,000 millionaires on Dogecoin, there were 9,000 millionaires made last week selling Dogecoin. I'm not talking about other cryptocurrencies. We're talking about Dogecoin specifically. The latest stage of the frenzy centers around Tuesday halving, which of course this is looking forward. We're here. We're on the day. The day's wrapping up, but frenzy centers on Tuesday, having been deemed Dogeday in online forums. We saw it all over the place, right? Twitter, Reddit, Discord. I haven't been on Facebook, honestly, much lately, because it seems that Twitter, Discord, Reddit, and YouTube seem to be the biggest social media catalyst, although it's very possible that TikTok and Instagram and Facebook have had their impact. But the Dogeday and online forums loosely organized a bid to push the price of the cryptocurrency to $1. We all know that didn't happen, not even close, by and large, at least for the day. And I'm going to bring it up in a minute. It was pretty much from about midnight throughout the rest of the day on a downward slope most of the day, although in aggregate, over certainly the year, over the month, it has been on a, generally speaking, upward trend. I think the key here is, again, if you have a long-term view, you've got two options. If you have, incrementally, if every month, every week, whatever, you have some money that you can put into it. I'm not saying just put it in and just have a market order go, but in other words, what I'm saying is, set aside X amount per month, incremental money. You're buying a dip, so you need to be a little bit active to optimize or sub-optimize at least your dollar cost average. That's one approach. Another approach, which Alexander has been doing very successfully, is either selling all of what you have, taking that profit, looking for a dip that's somewhere below what you sold it for, getting back in, and by doing that, gaining more coins. Either way, you're gaining more coins. One way, you're not taking any more money out of your bank account or anything and gaining more. The other, you are taking money out of your banking account or some other means that you have of money and putting it in there. They both have their merit. Probably depends on your goals, depends on the finances that you have, that type of thing. So getting back here to the article, this time Dogecoin buyers, we talked about going a step further, trying to push it. Both episodes underscore, this is, I think, an important part, underscore the scale and potency of current retail trading environment in which organized efforts, and this goes way back to what I was saying earlier, but in which organized efforts in online communities can make a surprisingly large impact on market prices. They also reflect expectations that prices will continue to rise or will continue rising, and as such, they embody risk that these sudden fortunes will be wiped out when the winds of the market shift. Now, the only way that that's true is if you get out and don't get back in. And especially if you get out at a loss and don't get back in, then obviously, you should have just not even done it. But if you have a long-term view, then these dips just present a buying opportunity, as I've already said. But there was a lot of, probably today, call it panic, call it whatever you want, but people expecting, as this kind of says, expecting a increase that didn't happen. They didn't have a long-term view, so they either took a little bit of profits or got out before they were losing a significant amount of money. So I think that's all we'll do with that one. I'm going to go to one more and show you real quick, and then we'll get back to the comments. Thought this was an interesting article on Seeking Alpha. Now, the other thing about Seeking Alpha seems to be a pretty good source, but I guess to get all their stuff, you have to get a subscription. So maybe I'll get that when I get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. But until then, I'll go with what I can get for free. But WeWork teams up with Coinbase and BitPay. Here's one of those examples of an integration, if you will, between Coinbase and BitPay for cryptocurrency payment. I don't remember, honestly. Dogecoin is not listed in this particular example. Companies as large as WeWork may not be quite ready to use Dogecoin. And obviously, since Coinbase doesn't list Dogecoin yet, it would be hard with this integration between BitPay and Coinbase, where Coinbase in this case, and you'll see in a minute, is going to be in essence the custodian for WeWork. But BitPay does support, if you will, Dogecoin, and that's exactly how the Mavericks and some of the other merchants out there, companies, are able to take Dogecoin. But anyway, we work in partnership with BitPay, and Coinbase will start using cryptocurrency for accepting and making payments. I honestly think this is super exciting. Again, although in this particular case, it doesn't include Dogecoin, what it does prove is the use case, the ability to. So through BitPay, a crypto payment service provider, which we talked about this a little bit last night, WeWork will accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, USD Coin, Paxos, which I know nothing about, and several other cryptocurrencies as payment for its offering. Now, what those other cryptocurrencies are, I don't know. Maybe Dogecoin is one of those. Not really sure. WeWork will also hold the cryptocurrency on its balance sheet, and this is where I believe Coinbase comes in, right? So BitPay facilitates, in essence, the taking of the cryptocurrency, and then it gets transferred into WeWork's Coinbase account. They don't say it quite like that, but I'm almost positive that's what it is. In addition, Coinbase will be the first WeWork member to use crypto to pay for its WeWork membership. So Coinbase is actually apparently a customer of WeWork. So of WeWork. So Coinbase, I guess their offices they get from WeWork. The flex office space company joins the likes of Tesla in accepting crypto for payments. In March, Tesla said it would accept Bitcoin as a payment for its electronic vehicles. What I don't know, because I've been reporting on this as well, and so has everyone, and I think it is a great thing ultimately for the broader cryptocurrency scene, if you will. I don't know if Tesla is using BitPay, if they're using someone else. I don't know the particulars around that. I need to research that because it would be interesting to be able to tell everyone that may or may not know. I don't know myself. Last month, PayPal launched its checking or checkout with crypto feature, allowing users to pay for purchases with cryptocurrency. And I'm not going to bring it up today, I don't believe, but Venmo announced something today as well where you could use Venmo. Dogecoin, unfortunately, is not among the list yet with Venmo. That'll be one reason I'm not going to pull it up, but it's probably coming. Another interesting thing, and again, I'm coming right back to the comments in just a second here. Another interesting thing, or something that I thought was interesting is, who was it? I'm trying to think. It just escaped me. I know I'll think of it here in just a second. That's what happens when you've got too many things going on in your head at the same time. Oh, I know what it was. So, and I mentioned this briefly last night, but two things I'm going to say about Robinhood and Webull. First, I'll start out with Webull. Webull said that the top cryptocurrency that they were asked to add, if you will, to their exchange was, what do you think it was? Let me know in the comments, and then I'll tell you. One of the things I noticed today, and I hope it was just a glitch, and I know Webull is, had the ability to buy Dogecoin in quote unquote beta, and then they released it to everyone today. But what I noticed today throughout the day, and yesterday I didn't see this or notice this, but the price, a large portion of the day, the price for, or if you will, the quote, that's literally changing every second, the quote that you would see for Dogecoin on Robinhood and on Webull was different. Literally, for the most part, 2 cents different. And actually, Robinhood had the better price. So I guess it's good if you're buying. It'd be better if you're selling on Webull. So that's really kind of weird. I hope they get that. Worked out, because that could, for anybody that's looking at multiple platforms for the price, that could cause a problem with trust. That's for sure. I know there are others that believe that Robinhood actually is a little bit more expensive. Typically, they somehow do that. So the other things, and then I'm going to the comments. A couple of other things that I noticed today that I don't like, honestly, about Webull, and maybe I need to understand it better. But Robinhood, I'm going to compare and contrast a little bit with Robinhood with just a standard account. And I've already talked about this some, but it's more important now that I know how Webull does this. If you transfer from your bank account into Robinhood, you get $1,000. So whatever you're putting in there, if you're putting in up to 1,000, so if you put in 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, whatever, you're going to immediately get 1,000 of that, and only 1,000. So in other words, if you transferred in 1,000 on one transfer, and then another 1,000 on the second day, pretty sure you're only going to get the first up to the first 1,000. The rest of that you only get when the money has actually transferred and cleared. But that's still pretty good. If you have the quote unquote gold plan, it's much higher. I don't remember how much, but it's significantly more buying power, as they call it. Now with Webull, well, let me make one other thing clear. As far as what's available to you as buying power, from what I can tell on Robinhood, it's not only the cash that's in there, but if you sell a stock, let's say you or a cryptocurrency or whatever, and I'm just going to use US dollars. Let's say that you sell, let's just say you sell Dogecoin, and that transaction is $1,000 in your account. That $1,000 is immediately available, whether that's a coin or a stock. It's immediately available as a part of your buying power. Now, if we go to Webull, you don't get the first thing which I talked about, which is the buying power for crypto. It's different for the stock, but for your crypto transactions, the only thing that's actually buying power is actual cash that's actually in your account that has fully transferred, and then any stocks that or crypto for that matter that has settled, which basically is cash as well, right? So you do have more flexibility. You can call it credit if you want, but you have more buying power, generally speaking, on Robinhood from what I can tell. So I didn't like that. That can obviously be solved by putting more money in there. But here's where I think that could be a problem. If you're primarily buying and selling crypto on Webull, then you're going to have to wait, if I understand it right, 3 days before you can buy more with that. So I'm curious, Alexander, and I don't think you're using Robinhood. Maybe you are, but if you are using Robinhood, then obviously I know how you're able to kind of do your day trade, and I think you are using Robinhood. But anybody here that's using another anything other than Robinhood or Webull, I'm curious how your platform works with regards to buying power. Okay, I'm going to return to the comments here. Hey, Sean, you're probably already gone now. No problem. Thanks for joining. So what I'm going to do, since we've kind of lost a few people, which is perfectly fine, for those of you that are still here, I'm just getting started, so we'll be around for a while. I'm going to go into out to Twitter, and I obviously hope that one of these days I don't quote unquote have to do this. I will, and I'll explain what I mean by that. I'm growing my YouTube channel, so if you want to share it out on social media, that would certainly be appreciated. But and it's actually pretty good when I look at my statistics. About 25% of my views are coming from subscribers, so that means that a number of you have turned on notifications, which is amazing, and I want to say thank you for that, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, because a typical YouTube channel, when you look at who's watching any given video, unsubscribed is normally in the 90% somewhere, and then those that are subscribed that saw that video is in the low double digits. In other words, 10, 15 or so. If you're lucky, many of them are in the single digit, 9, 8, 7%. So honestly, since I started spending more time on this topic, finance, investment, cryptocurrency, equities, that type of thing, my views from subscribers has increased. So that's pretty cool. But what I'm basically saying is I'm going to go into Twitter here and just kind of look through the trending tweets and show them some love by liking it and retweeting it and just letting them know that we're live here tonight. I joke a lot of times that I'm the night shift. There are probably other live streams going on right now that are covering Dogecoin, in the broader markets, if you will. But, I think we're maybe one of the few that's kind of doing it this late at night. One of the things I want to show you here is this was another example of another organization and another sporting team beginning to accept Dogecoin as payment. So the Delray Lightning, I'm gonna go click on their feed here in just a second, and I don't know why I don't have follow on there. I want to follow them. Says we will be accepting Dogecoin as payment for all concession and merchandise going forward. I don't know why they're not accepting it for payment. That seems a little, for tickets, that seems a little bit interesting to me. But we'll be accepting Dogecoin for payment and concessions. Let's go look at this for a minute because I'm curious. I'm assuming, but I don't know. Yeah, it's baseball, so it's probably a AA or something along summer collegiate baseball team based out of Little Fenway. Okay, ranked number 19 in 2017. Really cool. So, yeah, that's encouraging. Let's let them know that we're live here. We are recapping the day, and maybe we can get a few more people to join. I know many of you that are here, you're here as a result of me basically doing this same thing. So I'm going to, again, if you don't mind, we're gonna look up Dogecoin and just kind of go through. During the day, honestly, don't have time to look at all of the things that are trending because, like probably many of you, have a day job and all the things related to that. So, good morning. So some of these are back from. That one's kind of old, so I'm going to look for things that are more current. Dogecoin to $1. That's actually me. Surprised I'm here on the top. I'll like my own. Why not, right? Another one here for me, so we'll like that. This was I really liked this illustration. I've said before that, I think it's pretty interesting that there's so much creativity, so much effort put into all the memes and various other things. And we are ahead of Bitcoin in some really interesting ways. Percent increase in price and also volume. I think we're ahead of Bitcoin volume-wise in a day. I don't mean market cap. So there is a legend, Doge legend. Good morning to the Doge. I'm curious about this. I want to give you some informative info from Doge legend EM Upshot on YouTube. I really like his channel and his info. Yeah, I've seen this channel before. That's cool. Maybe one of these days I'll be considered a legend. I'm joking. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being on tonight. So this looks like a really good one. Snowballing into a cultural phenomenon. I completely agree. Look at all these points. Very good points. Brands are accepting it as payment. We just saw that. Exchanges are listing it. Webull just started putting it on there. Hopefully Coinbase is going to do it soon. Memes are being made about it. We just saw some of those. The media is talking about it, sometimes positively, sometimes negatively, sometimes literally they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. Like the article that we read earlier, it says, in essence, a lot of positive things about it, and then turns around and basically says negative things about it. So it's like, please make up your mind. Your friends are asking you about it, and your dog reminds you of it. Yeah, I really like this one. This is a good one. I probably already replied to this one. I'm not sure. I know I've already liked it because it's got a heart there. Yep. See it when it says that, then I know that. Well, Twitter also, and you guys are probably aware of this. It remembers what you've typed, and it remembers what you've done. And if you basically cut and paste too much, you have to change it up. So now that I changed it up a little bit, it let me do it. It's all risky. Whoever this person is really active on Twitter. I'm going to go to, instead of latest or top, I'm going to go to latest. I'm only going to spend like literally another minute on this, so hang tight and we'll get to the comments. If only I didn't have to look at ads. Binance is another one that that looks good as far as the interface that it has. There is a desktop tool similar to Webull. It seems. I've not downloaded it. I'm assuming, like Webull, you could download it and kind of use it to just be a way of keeping up on things. But again, I'm almost positive that Binance charges fees, so I can't really think of a reason why I would use it over Webull, for example, unless, and maybe they probably do, and I'll have to look it up here in a minute, but if they have both Cardano and XRP, that might be enough to get me to use them on occasion. Probably would not buy my Dogecoin there, though, or sell it. See, here's another great example. I haven't seen this one. It's only been retweeted 3 times, but look at the creativity of the memes here. I'm just, again, honestly blown away by the energy that goes behind this. Be nice if I could get some of these creators that are putting this stuff out there to join us tonight. I have to do some DMs and reach out to some of them. You guys let me know, what do you think about the background music? Do you enjoy that? Do you does it bother you? Is it too loud? Is it too not loud enough? I had some problems with one of the music services that I use giving me copyright claims, and it was something I tried new, and I think I'm going to have to cancel it and actually ask for my money back because they've not helped me remove the copyright claims. Upbeat.io, if you're watching, listening somehow, if you'll help me get rid of those, I'll consider keeping your service. All right, we're going to get back to the comments here. And I'm streaming, by the way, with StreamYard. There's a link in the description. If you stream some already, or if you want to do your own live streams, you can. It's an amazing tool. It's all web-based. You don't have to have OBS is great, for example, if you're familiar with streaming at all, but it can be complex. It does some amazing things, don't get me wrong, but if you want something simple, easy, quick, with actually some really good capabilities, then you go to StreamYard and you can get that for free. I'm going to pull up the my overlay for a little bit here so you can see the link for StreamYard. You can use Shane Trammel up here to just know how I spell my name. I would love for you to Follow me on Twitter. Can't talk tonight. I will definitely return the favor. May take me a couple of days to get there. Live streaming 4 hours a day and a regular job and all the things, but I will get back to it. I think most of you that have followed me on Twitter, I have followed you back. Let me know in the comments if I haven't, and I will. So I want to be connected with you in that way. Still here. Okay, Sean, you decided not to go away. Hey, glad you're still here, man. You guys let me know if you don't have to share the particulars, but if your position in Dogecoin changed today, did you buy, did you sell? Again, I think it was a good buying opportunity given my strategy. If you're not in Dogecoin yet at all, I know one of our friends here is kind of still waiting to get in, and talked with them offline a little bit about some things they might want to think about. But if you're not in Dogecoin yet, be curious to know at what point you are, what are the factors, what are the things that you're waiting on? What are the parameters that you need to see before you're ready to get in? Idea of streaming it at least once a week or once every 2 weeks would be great. Yeah. So John, I'm curious, are you saying that daily is too much and it'd be perfectly fine? I would love the feedback. I don't know how long, I don't know how sustainable every day is. If I have enough people on, it's very possible that I just continue going every day. There's pros and cons to going every day with YouTube. You want your videos to be quote unquote evergreen, and a live stream, I think you have to be a little bit more intentional in the way that you quote unquote produce that live stream to make it to where it is something that someone would watch as a replay. I hope that some of these are that way. If I had the time to do it, if I went back and put in chapters, I think it would be more consumable. But I'm honestly, two factors. Again, I'm super, super interested in what's going on with Dogecoin right now. Obviously, that's probably not going to change anytime soon, so I may have to change things up a little bit. I'm definitely continuing to go live at least through 102 days. This is day 91. But it helps keep the motivation, if you will, up, and all those kind of things, validates, if you will, the daily live streams as hopefully the channel grows some. So we've got still a ways to go. We're only half the way there with regards to subscribers. We're a little more than halfway there, and I'm thankful for that. We've added 71 subscribers in 28 days. For some, that's a lot. For some, that's hardly anything, but I'll take it. 71 is great, but we're, lagging about 3,400 watch hours. So I need some of you guys. I'm kidding about needing, but, go play some of my playlist in the background while you sleep or something like that. That would definitely help us get to where we need to be, but, only do it if you're getting value out of these streams, and obviously if you hit the like button, that helps a lot as well. It's not going to drop below 30, so better invest now while it's low. You may be right. I have who knows, tomorrow could be an amazing day just because it's not the day that was supposed to be the great day. Unlike, I think there's obviously always going to be days that are uncharacteristic and not the way it may typically be. But I think many times we would actually expect that during sleeping hours here in America, that Asia and Europe and all the other parts of the world that are waking up, that there would be activity there that would kind of cause a spike or an upward trend, and then kind of the opposite changing when America wakes up. I don't know why that is, honestly, But since we've been doing these live streams about Dogecoin, we've actually seen some pretty amazing spikes or some a pretty good progression on the upward trend during a 3-hour or 4-hour live stream. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, Sean, thank you. Yeah, they have. I have nothing to complain about. Prior to, I owe it to the topic, honestly, and I'm interested in the topic, so that helps. But I was previously getting maybe 9 views. I mean, I do a number of videos on streaming equipment and software and those type of things, and a few of those do have that evergreen kind of content, because when people are searching for how do I use a ATEM Mini, I won't go into what that is, but how do I use that? What kind of lighting do I need for to produce videos, or what kind of video camera, those things, or what kind of batteries even for a video camera, that kind of stuff certainly is evergreen from a search perspective. So those have done okay. I'm everything, I'm perfectly fine with small beginnings. I'm fine with wherever this goes. It's about providing value, like I kind of digressed on talking about last night, or maybe it was the night before. So I'm cool with it. Hey, Foo FL3 Tech. I'm sorry. Some of these non-names it's really hard to know how to acknowledge you, but thanks for joining. But I think this is maybe your first time, and that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to assume that you came over from Twitter, and if you would let me know that'd be great. If you would follow me on Twitter, that would be amazing. But thanks for being here, and let's see what you're saying. Originally bought Doge when it was, wow, dude, you're making me mad. I'm joking, or something like that. Sold due to moving to another state. Hey, I get it, but are you back in? Are you back in at all? Or do you have a entry point? In other words, are you looking to get back in? I hope so, because I think there's still opportunity even at 31. Just like Sean said just a few minutes ago, it's very possible that it doesn't dip below 30. It's very possible that tomorrow is the day that it gets up to 45, maybe 50. The thing is, and we talked about this a little bit earlier in the stream before you probably joined, because someone was asking how did Dogecoin get to 6,000% price increase, right? Within a year, and a lot of that has to do with the Dogecoin culture, people getting behind it. There are Discord servers with thousands and hundreds of thousands of people in it, Reddit groups with millions of people in it, all surrounded around this topic. Twitter feeds or Twitter comments just going through the roof. Other YouTube channels, much more active, unfortunately, in one sense than mine, with comments going so fast, I wouldn't even be able to see them. So crazy that they're actually having to slow the comments down, or these channels that are big enough to have quote unquote memberships to make it membership only, all those kind of things. So in one sense, it's good that we're not there yet, because I don't have to think about what would I do. I honestly don't like again, not as a criticism, and I'm not saying I wouldn't even do it. I don't know, but I don't like the thought when I think about, stopping comments for only the members. I'm perfectly fine with the membership, honestly, but I'm curious, seriously, if you guys would indulge me for just a moment. Let's say this channel, and I don't care if it ever gets there, just trying to think, if this channel ever got to where there was membership and you guys were getting enough value that you got a membership. As a member, would you want a live stream where only the members could comment, or would you want the whole community, whether they're members or not, to be able to comment and your value come from other things. I'm just curious. I'm totally curious. I gotta get some idea at some point, because I do have every hope and goal that this channel will be big enough at some point that there is some ways without driving people away to monetize it. Not anywhere near that yet though. You got sad news. My account got deficit and restricted for purchasing. What? Wow, that's crazy. What account did you have? What platform were you using? Are you talking about the platform that you were using to buy it? It got deficit and restricted. I don't know what you mean by deficit. Do you mean that did they take some money out? Anyway, can you go to some other platform? Let me know more if you don't mind. I think you've got a comment here ahead that'll tell me. So I'm gonna see what John's saying here real quick, and we're gonna pick back up, Manny, with what you were saying, because that's pretty crazy. Maybe if you can put an announcement that you're streaming on a specific day would help. Yes, it would. I mean, I guess I need to, and I've been putting out on Twitter. Basically, I am streaming every day. I should probably pin. I've not been active on Twitter. I'll just be honest with you until now, and I am trying to, because it's such a good way to get the message out there, especially once you have people following you and stuff, and put the right hashtags in there. I want to build my Twitter feed up more. I certainly could, to your point, do that part. The one thing that I'm not going to be able to do, I think I can pretty much commit that I'm going to go live every day until I'm not. And so I could communicate every day, hey, I'm going live today. What I'm not going to be able to commit to, unfortunately, is the time. I mean, it just depends on the day. That would make a big difference. I know that. It's just something I'm not able to do. If I could say that I'm going live from 8 p.m. to midnight or whatever it was, I know that would make a big difference. I just can't do that. And actually, some of these bigger YouTube channels that are covering a lot of the same things equally are not necessarily saying I'm going live at X time, but they've got a large enough audience now that that audience knows that they're going to go live at some point. They've got the notifications on, all the things, and if they're available, they're just tuning in. So I'm just not there yet, but that's a really good pointer, and I do appreciate you sharing that. They tried to charge my card when I didn't have enough funds, and that got it restricted. I got it resolved, though. Okay, I withdrew money from Robinhood, and it barely hit the morning, but it was too late. Huh. So are you now on a different platform? Did you leave Robinhood? It's so crazy because I've not had these problems yet, but I didn't know that you could use a credit card for Robinhood. So let me know what you're talking about, unless you're talking about maybe you had Robinhood Gold, because that's the only thing I can think of where a credit card is even used. But I'd love to know. Okay. Sold all your Doge, going to get back in at 30. Yeah, I hope that works out for you. You may have to, like Andrew, I think, was saying, you may have to be willing to go to 31 cents. I don't know, 30, whatever. But what platform are you using now? And you might want to consider. I'm not saying this to be condescending. You probably already know this, but you might want to consider putting in a limit order if the platform you're going to be using supports that, or a limit order for 30 cents. I actually have one in because I did it earlier today and haven't bothered canceling it yet, and it could happen. I've got a limit order to buy at 26 cents, so we'll see if it happens again today. It got that low only once, and unfortunately, if I'd had a limit selling at the time, it probably would have gotten executed. Hey, Dog Army, TSLA Bull. Yes, I need to start adding that tag on my Twitter. I almost always tag Doge and Dogecoin. I definitely need to add Doge Army in there as well. Thanks for coming into the stream. I'm going to assume that you came in through Twitter, so I'm going to be bold and ask you to follow me. If it wasn't through Twitter, I'm still glad you're here. My Twitter handle is at Shane Trammel. You can get the spelling, if you will, up on the top right. And that'd be great. Okay, so you're on Robinhood, so you got it squared away with Robinhood. That's good. That's good. So you can do a limit. You can do a limit order on Robinhood, and actually another interesting difference from what I can tell between Robinhood and Webull. From what I can tell, when you're doing a limit order to buy, it can only be a day limit order. I've not seen a way to make it until filled, or all several of the other options that you typically have with the limit order. So again, I've still yet to buy my first crypto on Webull because of the issue that I was talking about with my buying power on Webull. Manny, I don't know when you joined. I might have already talked about it, but on Webull, from what I can tell, your buying power, at least for cryptocurrencies, is basically literally only the cash that you physically have there. What has settled, whether that's cash from a bank transfer or whether that's cash from selling a stock or a crypto of some sort. So that makes it less attractive in many ways to Robinhood, because again, with Robinhood, the minute I sell something and I have $2,500, let's say, I can immediately turn around and use that to buy more Doge or whatever it is that I want to do. So, but then I've heard other people that it took a week for their money to be transferred out of Robinhood into a bank account. I've transferred a number of dollars in. Of course, if you're going to make anything easy, it's going to be money coming in, right? But the money going out, I've not done yet, and I've heard that some people have had problems with that. But okay, man. Jamie, Jamil, Simon. Okay, I'm going to. You guys hang out for a second. I'm going to go follow you right now, because if I don't, excuse me, I will forget. Jamil Simon. Okay, so hang tight with me for a minute, and I'm going to look you up. Hey man, I'm there now. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna prove to you that I'm following you. Oh wait, I'm already following you, man. So cool. I love your banner and your meme. That's pretty awesome. Filmmaker. Hey, that's cool. Drone, Malibu, California surfing, skateboarding. I love California, my friend. I used to have some really, really good friends that had a church in Oceanside, California. So I would fly into John Wayne Airport sometimes. Sometimes I would fly into Carlsbad Airport from LA. Flying to San Diego sometimes. They would normally come pick me up. So I'm a big fan of California. So that's cool. But you say California, Texas, the moon. So where do you, what's the, I'm assuming that the Texas link here is maybe, Elon. I think I don't know if he probably still has a house in California, but I know he's moved a significant part of his business, Tesla and even SpaceX, to Texas. But I'm happy to be connected with you. I hope that you will, keep coming back to the stream here. I only have plans on making this better. I just started on this topic about 7 days ago, been streaming for quite a while, but I only know one way to go, and that's all in. So hopefully we'll bring in you guys, more and more as the days progress. I'm new to all this. A friend convinced me to buy 200 at 40 on Robinhood. Any advice or foresight? Yeah, I think great. Hey, the Alacrian. I'm sorry I'm not saying that right. I'm sure. Hey, come follow me on Twitter if you haven't, for one, so you'll know that way when we go live again. Subscribe here if you will. Turn on the notifications, but I want to get to your question. Any advice? So this is a perfect time to say, because I guess it's the thing that you're supposed to do to, in a sense, disclaim that I'm not a financial advisor, quote unquote, right? Not a stockbroker, not any of that stuff. I've got a lot of experience in, business and IT and all the things. So I think I have a really good background for this, but just the disclaimer there. But that being said, what I would do is what I would do. And I think I speak for a number of the people that have started joining me pretty regularly on this stream, is I would just say, I think it's great that you're in, even if it's at 40. I would just say, if you've got some more money that you can afford to lose, because I think we have to say that first. I don't think you're going to lose it, but you need to be, you need to be realistic about it. If you're willing to lose it, I have to say that first. I would look for an opportunity to buy more. And as Alexander, if he's still on the stream with us, he said earlier in one of his comments that he felt, he's like, you better buy at 30 because it's not going to go below 30. And that very well may be. So it might be that you want to put in a limit, or just market, if you're able to be around it enough, put in a limit order to buy however many coins. See, my stinking mind, I talk about stocks and currencies, so at times I slip, but you might want to put in a limit order to buy, $200 more or $100 more, even 50, whatever you have, at say 30, or maybe you say 31. It just depends on how bad you want more, because I think it's a foregone conclusion, given all we know, although it could ultimately turn out to not be the case. I think it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to get to 50 cents, that it's going to get to $1 and beyond. What and where, how far beyond $1 and when beyond $1, it's hard to say right now. I think once it gets to $1, we will then have more understanding of the path that it took to get to $1, which would give us some indication of what is the path to $2 to $10. So, it would be helpful for me as well, to the extent that you want to engage here. Share with me what your goals are. Are you looking to, make life-changing money, which would be amazing, or are you looking to make a quick 500 or 1,000, which is equally amazing? In other words, neither one of those two, in my opinion, and I may be one of the few places saying that, I don't know. Either one of those strategies are perfectly fine, because it's your money, it's your goals, it's your life. You get to choose. But with knowing the goals that you have, I could even maybe dive a little bit deeper in, my thoughts on it. But I guess I'll summarize. I think that if you have more to put in it, if you're willing to lose it, I would buy more. I'm doing that. I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you. I bought more today at, again, I don't remember. I know I should, but at 34 or 32, something along those lines. And then I have a limit order to buy more at 26. It may not get to 26. I may change that later tonight or first thing in the morning. I may cancel the one that I have and put in another one at 30 cents. We'll see. I do suggest that if you have the time, I suggest that you get a Webull account, if for no other reason, to have the, and technically you don't even have to have a Webull account to do this, but I would download their, desktop app, or even the app for the phone. I like the one for the computer, because you can literally watch it all day long and start learning how to, look at the candlesticks to see the, within a 1 minute period or a 5 minute period, a 30-minute period, a 1 hour period, what the within that period what the open is, what the close is, what the high is, what the low is, and look at the general trend over a period of time, and hopefully make decisions mostly about when to buy more. But again, Alexander, along with some others, are very active here, and they're sharing their approach. Alexander, and Manny has done this as well, taken opportunities at a high point to sell, and then at a lower point sell everything at a higher point, buy back in at a lower point, and basically be able to, without bringing any more outside money in, ultimately get more of the Dogecoin in their portfolio. So that was kind of long-winded, but I hope that was helpful. One other thing, and I'm going to go on to some of the other comments, I would be very interested to know, so you say you have Robinhood. By the way, one other thing, if you get a Webull account, you can go to strummel.info/Webull, Webull, and it's in the description of this video. I think you can get with that up to 3 stocks for a value of up to $1,850. You can also buy Dogecoin on Webull, and you may want to have, Robinhood unfortunately has had some problems at times. You may want to have at least a couple of platforms where in a pinch, if one of them's not working to your liking, you could still buy more. So now I'm behind on the comments. Very interesting on the Robinhood thing. Again, I think Robinhood's got some work to do with regards to making their platform really bulletproof and probably increasing their customer service, that type of thing. But you're saying that you can't do a limit order yet due to restrictions. Okay, well, I hope that gets resolved. Love you more. Cool. Hey, well, thanks for being connected. I hope that you'll hang with us, and love to hear more about your thoughts on all this and where things are headed. All already followed and subscribed. Thank you, sir. I'm assuming it's sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. It's honestly humbling to have, a group of people that are willing to watch you talk and share your thoughts and ideas and highlight others' thoughts and ideas. It's really cool. I'm enjoying it. Long-term investment, but right now get my initial investment back in profit. I get it. Nothing wrong with that. You're not gonna hear me really, I don't think, ever, unless I slip and say that, something stupid or whatever. Again, I will always, when asked my opinion, try to share it in the best possible way, non-judgmental way, give you the opportunity, obviously, because you do get to do this. You get to make the final decision. And I think that's great that you're getting in there, though, right? So that's what's going to ultimately get this to where a lot of us want it to be anyway, which is more people getting in, just like you, getting in, watching, YouTube streams like this and pre-recorded videos, watch enough of them that you can develop a thought about your own, what you want your own strategy to look like. Dogecoin 50 billion market cap, more than Ford. Yes. It's down a little bit though. Right now, you're right that it was at 50 billion, but right now, unless coin market cap is wrong, it's about 40. I'm refreshing right now, and I'm going to, so we're at 42, and that's up about 2 billion. So when we looked at it, I typically kind of open up these streams showing the status market cap wise, and it's been up as high as number 4, right behind the XRP. but it's at 42 right now. So, and it's been as high as 52 over the last several days. And as I showed earlier, here's, in my mind, the real story, in one sense, is it is the top with regards to the year-to-date price growth. That tells a big story. Also, if we look by market cap and then just kind of go down, I like to show this view as well, at least for a 7-day. Look at Bitcoin, basically in a sense on a mostly downward trend. Of course, it started working its way back up. It's at 55 right now. It's been, as low as, I think, 41, 50. It might have actually, I don't think it dropped into the 40s, but low 50s over the weekend. It's made it back up to 57, and then looks like it's lost some of that. Ethereum, for example, also had reached an all-time high last week. It's now down at 2,300. This would have been, would have been better to buy into Ethereum. Maybe for most of us fractional, but this would have been another good one to get into and have some diversity, if you will, but within your portfolio, because it was in the low twos, I believe, and then it was as high as 2,500 and change. Yeah, man, no problem. I completely understand. $200 in is better than zero in. So I think it's great that you're in there. That will make a difference over time, even if you can't put any more in there. And again, I probably already said this. If you go into the link in the description, there's the link for the Webull, and you can get that account for free, and you don't have to fund it, which means you don't have to put any money into it before you open it up. And the good thing I like I've already mentioned, is you can use their tool in essence for free. Now, again, keep in mind that today, at least, and I hope it's not a sustained problem, but today Webull and Robinhood were not close. I mean, they were about 2 cents off price-wise. In other words, when Robinhood was saying that it was 30 cents, Webull was saying it was 32. So Robinhood was consistently lower. And again, I guess if you're buying, that's nice, I guess. But if you're selling, you would want to sell on Webull. So obviously what's better is that it's just right. Yeah, let me, I'm going to get through some of the other comments, and then I'm going to, for those that have maybe not seen it, I'm going to pull up the Webull desktop app because I really love it, actually. Let me, the Alacrian, again, I guess it depends on your goal. I would say that here's a thought, at least. And there's some risk in doing what I'm about to say, because again, one of our friends that's on here, I think, has proven, at least for him, that strategy works, what you're talking about. If you're limited in the funds that you can bring in, if 200's all you can put in there, but you want that portfolio to grow, then if you truly don't have any more money to put in there, then the only way to do that, you could just let it sit there, and then once it's at $1, that's one approach, just let it sit and grow. But another approach is exactly like what you said, is to sell it, and probably the best way to do it, to more quickly get more in your portfolio, is, when it's up to 45 or 47, or who knows, maybe wait until it hits that 50 mark, and that's where some form of technical analysis may be helpful. That's where Webull as a platform might be helpful, so you can kind of be watching that stuff. And the reason I'm mentioning that is if it hits 50, one of the possible things that could happen, so you need to think this through. Let's just assume for a minute that you, and I don't remember, you said you bought in at 40. Yeah. So you bought in at 40. Let's assume that it gets to 50 and you sell it there, and that's 10 cents per coin profit, whatever that would be. I'm not going to try to do the math. Then you could turn right around, and let's assume that it takes a dip to, maybe it doesn't go back down to 40, but maybe it goes to 42 or something like that. You could, basically buy back in, although your average cost would be a little bit higher than it was originally. Your average cost is higher, but you actually have more, in your portfolio, more Dogecoin in your account. You'd have to do a little bit of math, right, to make sure that you're not actually losing money. It would be possible to do that, depending on some other things, but just do a little bit of math in doing that. But I think it's a strategy to consider. Again, if you don't have money, if you really can't bring more incremental money in from your banking account or something like that, then a strategy is exactly like what you're saying. Sell it at some point higher than what you bought it, and then buy back in a dip. Now, the reason I say it can backfire, my story is I attempted to do the same thing, and then it just happened to be that day that it just shot up all the way up to almost 50 cents. And so I honestly panicked and, wanted to get back in so bad that I got in. Actually, I should have just waited a little bit longer. So when I say I panicked, I don't have any problem with selling when I did to take the profit, because it was almost $3,000 or something like that. So, that was not a bad deal, but, it kept going up and up, and I'm like, okay, I got to get back in. I know this thing's going to go to the moon, right? Eventually. And I don't want to end up having to get back in at $1, which I would have done, honestly. So in hindsight, I should have just waited a little bit longer, because I got back in at 35 and it's been lower than 35. So I hope that helps some. There you go. Manny's saying sell half your coins so the average won't super duper high. Yep. And then buy the dips. Yep. Very good. So let me know. I'm curious. You said you just got started on Twitch. Did you start out seeing this on Twitch, or did you start out seeing this on YouTube? I have a Twitch, and I have one person here watching us on Twitch. But what's your Twitch channel about? And is it the same handle as the Alacrian? Anyways, are you a gamer? Which is cool. Yeah, Manny, that is cool. So are you saying that you learned about investing prior to starting in stocks, or are you saying you kind of built up that knowledge within a week and then just jumped in feet first? But that's awesome. Either way, I'm super glad that you're there, man. Did you do any Safe Moon research? Yes, I did, KP. I did some. I'll be honest with you. I think that just like Dogecoin, with regards to the incredible opportunity to get in at a ridiculously crazy low price per coin, it certainly has the allure from that standpoint. I can only focus on so many things. At least that's me. I know as far as having some diversity, if you will, within your portfolio, certainly just only owning Dogecoin, I don't think is the right, or I shouldn't say right, it's not an approach I would take. So I do want to have some a variation of those. I would just say for me, that those other coins that I want to own at this point in time are ones that are, super well established, although more expensive, but well established with actual uses right now, use cases where they're actually being used, like Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, to a lesser extent with regards to how much I can have, but Bitcoin. So I'm just not there yet with regards to SafeMoon as having the time. I did look into how you could acquire it and all those types of things. So I hope that it just turns out amazing for you. I'm just not ready to jump into that yet, given the time that I have. Diamond hands, yes. Diamond hands or paper hands. So I do want to have diamond hands. Oh, and by the way, I asked the question earlier, and I was just kind of playing with regards to you guys saying or telling me which one it was. But again, I'd ask, or I kind of mentioned Webull had been, all of their users were requesting the most highly requested coin for them to add was Dogecoin, of course. Wow, affiliate in less than a week. That's cool. Found you on Twitter and Mostly Gamer, but do just chatting and art streams. So let me know. I'm curious because last night someone else was asking, and it seems like this might be something you would be interested in and probably already looking into. Have you thought about or experimented with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, for maybe some of your art? $800 million. You have 800 million SafeMoon. That's crazy, man. If it ever gets to what, even 5 cents, whatever, I don't know, but you've got some amazing potential there. Doge going back up. Yes, it is 33. That's amazing. That's cool. Guess this is a good time to I'm going to look at this one other thing. Okay, so look up NFT, or since you're kind of new to all this, let me suggest you go back and also watch the stream. I'm going to put one other link in here real quick. Go watch the stream from last night because someone asked specifically about NFTs, and I talked about that for quite a bit last night. And then if you scroll back a little bit further, or earlier in the 100 days, and that's the link I'm about to give you for a playlist. If you scroll back a little bit further, I have a video that's pretty much exclusively about NFTs. As soon as I type in this link, I will comment a little bit on that and let you know what it is. I think if you're an artist, it's definitely something you want to look into. So this link, just so everyone else knows that I'm putting into the chat here, that is a link to a playlist that takes you to all of the, it's 91, today's 91 episode. I've got a 100-day live stream, self-challenge, if you want to call it that. And so I put every night when I complete the stream, and actually this one's already in there. But yeah, I put that in there. Okay, so I'll talk about NFTs, somewhat abbreviated, and because I've got a couple other videos that if you would go watch those, that would help me, obviously, and it would answer your questions further. But NFT stands for non-fungible token. Think of fungible versus non-fungible in this way. A house is non-fungible in the sense that it's, for the most part unique. Yes, some of these cookie cutter homes, literally, 2 houses down, they've repeated the same design and everything, but generally speaking, a house is unique, quote unquote, kind of one of a kind. But Bitcoin, for example, is not it's not non-fungible because it's a Bitcoin is a Bitcoin. There's nothing that makes one Bitcoin different from another. A hammer, right? A Stanley hammer number 5692. That's fungible. There's nothing unique. There may be flaws that technically make it unique, but they're functionally, generally speaking, that particular hammer is made the same way every time, the same color, the same stamping, same everything. So that's kind of the difference between fungible and non-fungible. And I really think the NFTs are going to, quote unquote, create a renaissance for, in other words, a resurgence of, bringing back more ability to monetize to artists and musicians. And it goes way beyond that, but I'm just going to use this example and then I'll move on because I could literally talk about NFTs for an hour, and maybe I'll do a live stream that's only about that if you guys would be interested. But imagine as an artist, and first of all, before diving into that, there was a digital art, someone basically drew a cat. I'm simplifying it some, but drew a cat, created it as an NFT, non-fungible token, and sold it for $67 million. Now, this NFT concept, and it, Ethereum and also Cardano, and ultimately these are what you call smart contracts. That's two of the platforms that are going to, I think, really push NFTs to the forefront and smart contracts. But imagine that, again, you create a piece of art with a non-fungible token. It gets digitally stamped, if you will, with, in a sense, a code. I'm making it simple, and it is forever, unique and can be verified unique. And so you could, again, do a painting, quote unquote, digital painting, instead of it having to go through a traditional auction house and all of that. You could sell it on a virtual auction house where the auction house gets a much smaller portion than a real auction house would get, and then you get a bigger portion of it as the artist. And here's the cool part, one of the cool part that I'll talk about. And again, there's so much more, but let's just say that the person that owns it, if they want to resell it, you as the original artist get a royalty. That doesn't exist for the most part in the traditional art world. You, as an artist, you sell that painting, it could change hands 50 times over the course of 20 years. You never get another dime. Whereas an actor, the actors that were in Friends or Cheers or any of the number of the other, sitcoms and other things that are on replay every day, all day, right? They get royalties every time that's shown. We'll apply that to art or apply that to music. Who's the running back for the Seattle Seahawks that retired? Darjon something. Anyway, I just was looking at it today, but he has an NFT, and of course it's today's, Dogeday 420, but it's also the day that it's a day, I guess, that's smoking marijuana, if you will, is the day for that, kind of annually the day for that. But he has a series of NFTs where he's basically smoking marijuana, and it's a limited edition kind of thing, one of 20, several different poses. And people can basically go on there and bid on that, and then they win, and they have in essence, from a digital perspective, a unique piece of art. In that particular case, it literally doesn't look any different, but you can tie all kinds of things to it. So that's it on that. Again, there's more. Thanks, man. You've given me a lot. Good ones. Okay. Hey, thanks. Thanks for being here. More than happy to support you. You are the man. Thank you so much. Good night. Come on, man. Anyway, no, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for the invite to Elon Musk. We trust. Hey, you didn't tell me what your tie was. That you anyway? Who was it that also had on their Twitter feed, and maybe that was you, about Texas? I want to know. I'm in Texas, so I want to know what your tie to Texas is. Maybe it is Elon Musk. So I've kind of got caught up with the I've gotten caught up with the comments, so I wanted to bring up a couple of other articles that I found that I thought might be good to go through. I said I wasn't going to pull it up, but I am, because I think it's still helpful. There's this article about Venmo, which I think is just although it's not about Dogecoin, really, it's still about the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem, and it very well could be true for Dogecoin, in the near future. So Venmo launching crypto feature to buy and sell Bitcoin, other digital currencies. We already talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the stream, but a new feature coming to Venmo is making it easier for users to claim a stake in the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. On Tuesday, the digital payments app owned by PayPal, and I honestly didn't know that until maybe a couple of months ago, but anyway, announced a crypto option which would allow its users to buy, sell, and hold. This, I think, is a really key aspect, not just buy and sell, but to hold cryptocurrency. Customers will get to choose between 4 types at this point in time: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. If anybody's into Bitcoin Cash, I would love to hear, what that really is. How is it supposed to be different? Why is it only $600 and Bitcoin is 60,000? I can only assume by the name what some of the things might be. But so I'm going to look into this more, because I'm guessing this would be a way for someone to pay you. I'm sure you guys know, obviously a ton of people use PayPal and Venmo to just pay each other for things, pay them back for the lunch that they bought the other day, or this or that or the other. I'm sure here's the one drawback to most of these kinds of things, which I've mentioned before, but with what I'm about to say may be offset with the fact that most of these cryptocurrencies are appreciating in value way ahead of inflation. But unless there's something I'm missing, there would be a tax consequence for this. I don't know if, because you're basically spending your crypto. So I don't know if the person receiving it would have a tax implication, but certainly, unless there's something I'm missing, if I'm person A and I'm paying person B in Ethereum, I'm going to have a tax event in doing that, and it's going to be my unless that's coming from my long-term capital gains portion of my inventory, if you will, of that particular currency, then I'm paying whatever my tax rate is. And if it's long-term capital gains, you're paying, up to 15%, I think. Anyway, that's one of the things that I don't know if that's, going to work out or not. I honestly can't imagine paying anyone for something in Bitcoin necessarily, but I've not thought it through a lot. Bitcoin, in my opinion, is much more used for store of value, not to use to buy goods and services on a daily basis. But Litecoin, I think, is more geared towards that. I think they should obviously add Dogecoin, right? We should start I actually think I'll start a thread on Twitter and hashtag Venmo, hashtag Doge Army, hashtag Dogecoin. And I'm going to call it out right now on the live stream as well. And then I'll put the tags in this video. Hey, Venmo, you need to add Dogecoin. What are you thinking about not having Dogecoin as one of these options? Forget about Litecoin, maybe. If you can only have 4, one of these needs to be replaced with Dogecoin. So Venmo users can hold and stake in or hold a stake, in cryptocurrencies, starting with as little as $1. They can also share their acquisition of digital currency on their feeds. Okay, of course we know that Venmo is a quote unquote social payment kind of thing. I don't care one way or another. I'm honestly not into that aspect of Venmo, but for those that are, no judgment on it. It's just not my thing. But no matter where you are in your cryptocurrency journey, crypto on Venmo will help our community to learn and explore cryptocurrencies. And this is the part where, again, yes, it is good for the greater cryptocurrency ecosystem, but to learn and explore cryptocurrencies on a trusted platform and directly in the app they know and love. I'm definitely going to look into this some more. So Venmo, one more time before we move on, you need to add Dogecoin. All right, let's see. Got some more comments. Texas, Houston Rockets. Okay, yeah, wow, I didn't know that. Houston Rockets accept Dogecoin? By the way, my exes are in Texas. You should have stayed in Texas. Well, maybe your exes moved to Texas, but some people aren't from Texas, but as they say, they got here as fast as they could. But anyway, thanks for joining. I am super excited that you've come on board. Hopefully, you'll be a regular now, and I'm going to have to look into this Houston Rockets thing. I try to stay up on all of this. Do you know? And I know you were wanting to leave, but do you know if that's through BitPay? BitPay seems to be the common factor with a lot of these merchants beginning to accept. But I don't know how I've just not seen that. But that I would say that's big news. That's super cool. Season ticket holder, Houston Rockets for 30 years. Wow. Houston is my hometown. Okay. Living in LA for 10 years. Hey, so yeah, I remembered right because I looked at your profile. You're into the Hollywood kind of stuff, right? Something like that. Into movies, maybe, whatever, producing something like that. I'm curious. I'm super curious what you do for a living. I know I had your profile up, but too many things been going on now. Let's, for a minute, we're going to go back to Twitter here. So not only do the Delray Lightning, college baseball team, well, outside of college, but I guess college age players, not only the Mavericks, but also the Houston Rockets. Let's look that up, actually, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to put in Houston Rockets Dogecoin. Let's see if it's that easy. Houston supercar dealer now accepting Dogecoin as payment. I'm going to look at that first, though. That's cool. That may actually be, wow, that may actually be the first car dealership, you think? And this was yesterday. Well, 2 days ago. Well, that's because it's midnight now. I still thought it was the 20th. We have officially, at least here in Texas, Central Standard Time, we have exited Dogeday. So maybe next year, Dogeday, if we have it again on 420, the mood will be a little bit more exciting in the sense that it had a great rally day. But again, I'm not in the least missing or losing sleep, or will not lose sleep tonight based upon what happened today. But let's read through a little bit of this. Post Oak, and I'm going to create a bookmark for that. Post Oak Motors is now accepting Dogecoin, a cryptocurrency that recently gained new heights of popularity following support from Tesla. Wow, this is huge. I mean, I think it is. It's cool and exciting. It may not be huge, but it's still exciting. I'm going to do picture in picture so you can see my face. If someone new is joining, that way you can know that there's a person really here. But wow, what? This is amazing, right? Bugatti and Bugattis, I think, are one of the most expensive cars in the world. I think they're actually more the top line Bugattis, I think, are more expensive than Bentleys. I've never heard of a Karma. I've obviously heard of a Rolls Royce. Me doing this tonight and finding this is kind of makes it worth doing it just in this because it's a really cool story. Anyway, vehicles are sold at the boutique sales location next to Houston's only 5-star hotel. This is the second form of cryptocurrency the Houston dealership has accepted. In 2018, announced that it would allow customers to pay, of course, in Bitcoin after integrating BitPay. See, BitPay seems to be in the middle of all of this. They've definitely been a innovator, it would seem. Dogecoin was created. Okay, we don't necessarily need to know the history. 2020, when a TikTok trend encouraged people to purchase Dogecoin. I am not a big TikTok person. If you guys are, I'd be curious to know. I'll actually go follow you if you're on TikTok. And by the way, it's actually there is actually, I believe, a link in the description if you want to send me an email. It's pretty easy though. It's shane@trammel.me. So, anyway, this is pretty cool. March of the year, Dallas Mavericks. Yep, we already knew that. Within 2 days, the Mavs had carried over 20,000 Dogecoin transactions. Now, that's different than what I read, but 20,000 different transactions is different than saying 20,000 Dogecoin. I think some of the other articles maybe didn't quite articulate that properly. But anyway, last week, okay. Post Oak is owned by businessman, the billionaire. He's a billionaire. That's why he's selling Bugattis and Rolls Royce and Bentleys. That makes sense, right? Oh, hey. Okay, he's also the chairman, CEO, and owner of Landry's Incorporated. Landry's, I think, well, I know, is it's seafood, I think, right? And they probably have steak and that type of thing. I've eaten at Landry's. I think I've eaten there once before. Look at that. So I'm putting two and two together. Also the owner of the Houston Rockets. That explains also why the Houston, this is an amazing article. Buyers are currently able to buy a Tesla. Yes, we know that part. Okay, this is an excellent article, and I'm super stoked, actually, that I found that. So TSLA Bull, you get the credit for us finding that. That's a really good thing. Season ticket holder, yep, awesome. I'm going to take a quick water break here. And you guys let me know if you're liking the music. I'm actually going to turn it up just for a brief moment so you guys hang out. Leonardo, yeah, you're right. I'm about to turn the music back down, but it's right at 34 right now on Webull, and I'm sure hopefully Robinhood and Webull have, or maybe it's Webull that had the problem. Maybe they've got their prices synchronized now. Okay, so hey, thanks, Leonardo. I know you've kind of become a regular now, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting on. I'm going to, and I may have lost some of those that were possibly interested in it. I don't know the Alacrian. Hey, if you're still on, I can't, unfortunately, I can't tell who's actually still on or whatever, but I'm going to pull up the Webull desktop app because there's something else that I wanted to kind of go over, which I just love this tool. I'm going to make my wish list kind of go over here a little bit. This is the 1 day view, if you will, with kind of these candlestick representations. You got your high, your low, and then open and close and all of that. But if we go here, look here, right? So if we go back to, February 7th, 2021, and I know this screen is really small, but, back then, and we're only talking, about 2 months ago, roughly, or 3, whatever that would be, it was a low of 5 cents, or 5.30 cents, right? So in other words, 5 cents and then 30. It actually went as high on that day as 8 cents, so that was quite a big push that day. And then it closed at 5.77. So if we look at this, generally speaking, it's pretty flat, right? This whole time, all the way through most of February, a little bit of ups and downs, but mostly in the 5 and 6 area, not up to 8 again after that 1 day. And I'm going through this really quickly, so I might miss a day that it's up to 8, but it's clear here that it's higher. There's one other day, right, that it's 8 here for a while, and then here it goes up to 8 again, closes at 8, but then it starts basically working its way down a little bit and then kind of flat. And then we're still going along here, still in the 5s, right? And we're in late March. Still could have killed it by getting in here, which I know many of you probably did. I got in March. That's why my initial average price was in the 5s. Still a good place to get in. And then, of course, we get about right here on the 11th of this month, and then it just shoots up like crazy, right? So we are, generally speaking, from that point in a very aggressive upward move. Of course, today, or this particular one for this day, it still remains to be seen where it ends. But this is actually a pretty incredible picture. Probably need to take a screenshot of this. Much different than what, let's look at Ethereum and see what it would look like. It's a lot different view, right? We're looking at let me make sure, still on a daily thing. So it's got a lot of different looks. So I'm not really trying to compare the two, but what I can tell you, because we've already talked about it, we don't see this just massive, I guess it's described as parabolic kind of upward swing. So pretty cool. But I did want to show this interface a little bit because several people were talking about potentially getting Webull and even the phone app, at least on the iPhone. I don't know if they have Android. They probably do, and I'm guessing that the interface is similar. But one other thing I'll show you, which I like, you can go with this grid kind of thing, and I can say 2 charts, right? And then in here, that's Ethereum. I can put in here and put in Doge. And then I have 2 graphs side by side, and whichever one I make active, if you will, is the one that's going to show the price there. And of course, that's real time. Click over here. Now I'm getting that one. I can actually go up to 9, which is pretty amazing, right? I can quickly go back to just one. And then I've got my watch list over here, so I can quickly change it, or I can go up to here and put in something completely different. APP, what is it? Apple. Just pulling it up just for the fun of it. Apple made some, if you're an Apple fan, they made some pretty cool announcements. So I'm actually quite surprised, since those announcements were made today. You would think that the stock went up, but I'm not. Don't really follow Apple closely, so I don't know. I mean, I follow Apple closely with regards to their technology. I don't follow them so much with regards to how the market reacts, or how their stock reacts to what's going on. So anyway, I just wanted to show you some of that. Just if you guys don't mind digressing a little bit, because many times Tesla, for example, obviously because of Elon Musk owning it, there's this connection to Dogecoin. So Tesla was, it looks like, up on the day $4. I talked about this last night. I think, well, there are many people that think that at even 718 that they're way overvalued. Tesla is probably also, definitely to a lesser extent, but also has the benefit of it being a super, super popular company, and just the culture around the Tesla and the thought of a Tesla, even if you don't own one, I think explains some of the multiples that are in the price that don't match up with, I guess, the pure fundamentals and all of that. But its 52-week high is 900. Now, I think only because they wanted to get into have some other positions. Kathy Wood from ARK apparently sold a number of their shares of Tesla, Nvidia, PayPal, I believe, and what was the other one? I don't remember right now, but to buy something else, and now it's escaping me. Oh, to buy Coinbase. So I talked about this last night as well, and let's look up Coinbase for just a minute. This is obviously a cryptocurrency exchange, has fees and all that, but they have a lot of institutional customers and retail, what would be called retail customers. But I think this is also a good way to diversify with an equity, but yet in essence be into the cryptocurrency market. They are the largest, definitely in the United States. Very innovative from what I understand in many ways. A lot of people think that they're going to be, before the end of the year, at 600 or so. It's down $12 today. 52-week low was 310. Obviously, a lot of people thought it would be 600 on the open, right? It made it all the way up to 429. The quote-unquote street price, or what the base price they believed that it was going to be, because it was a direct listing, they had $250 a share was the benchmark, but it made it on that opening day, I think, up to 429. But this is also something that you may want to look at. It may be something that you have to get fractional shares of, and that's the beauty of Robinhood. Webull will allow you to buy quote unquote fractional coins, I guess, like Bitcoin and others, but I don't think you can buy fractional shares on Webull. So, exchanges like Robinhood are potentially still necessary, or, helpful maybe is a better word. Necessary, you always have choices, but maybe helpful in your strategy depending on what you're wanting to do. So I'm going to return to the comments here, and let's see what's going on. Alexander, around midnight, it will drop to 29 or 30. Yeah, and it's It's at 34 and change right now, so it could be a great opportunity if you're still up to buy, either get back in for someone that's not in Dogecoin right now, or an opportunity to get more if you are, obviously depending on your, what your dollar cost average is right now. That may not even matter. In other words, it depends on where you think it's going. If you have, if you can take profit and get more that way, or if you have, quote unquote, some disposable income and want to increase your position, it may be there. So that'd be great. Well, the reason it went down today was because Exchange's app had activities and pool prizes. Qcoin have won trading bots battle. One of the reasons so much trading. I didn't know about that. And I know that, Leonardo, we started the stream 2.5 hours ago now. We're 2.5 hours in. One of the things that I brought up, and this may be actually, since people have come and gone, this may actually be a, not a repeat for some of you, because again, we've got a new audience. What's also pretty interesting, insightful, I think, is the fact that you can actually look into some of the wallets, and this is just one example of a wallet, right? A Dogecoin wallet, and look at this. All of these are 420, in other words, today. And the minus, I got to believe, means that, in other words, they sold, if you will. Look at this: 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 8 million. What I don't understand is the small ones. 1 Dogecoin? Why? I don't know. 42, 50, why? But then 2 million, 1 million. Some of this could have all been programmed into something, I don't know, but that's a lot of Dogecoin. Again, still on, still today, 13 million. Of course, the interesting thing is to see, look at how their holdings in US dollars is going down, right? 10 million different between here and up here. So I guess the way we interpret that is and that's not including all the stuff below it. So that's at least a $10 million that's $10 million of market cap right there, right? That disappeared. That would also, and that's only one wallet. There I think multiple whales today that sold. I don't know if they sold because they just wanted to take profit. I don't know if they, it's possible that they wanted to bring it down so that they could buy back in. A lot of different psychological things that could have been going on. But the reality is also, Leonardo, I think not only the factor that you're talking about, which, I'll be the first to admit, I can't keep up with everything to the extent that happened. It's also true, I believe, that there were a number of large sell-offs from people that had a ton of it. Yeah, isn't that crazy, JG? Super crazy. So JG, hey, I'm just curious, I'm doing my best to kind of keep a mental track of who's been on one of these live streams and who hasn't. Forgive me if I'm thinking this is your first time and you've been on before, so I apologize, but welcome. If it is your first time, thanks for being here. If it is your first time as well, I'd be super curious how you found us. Is it through a search on YouTube or Twitter? I think those are the two primary ways. I would love to know. And in either case, please consider, subscribing, all those fun things, right? Notification, follow me on Twitter so we can stay in touch. Doge is pumping quick right now, but I don't have any Doge coins. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. 34. Don't feel too bad. I mean, they're going to be times where you really can't do much, right? Except just let it sit and just watch your paper money go up. So, I get it. Yeah, I get it, Leonardo. Those guys purchased at, the sale will happen. Sure. I mean, I'm not going to blame, right? I mean, it's funny in one sense to me, and everybody's going to have a little bit different opinions. So again, like I said earlier in the stream, the one thing you can bet on here is I'm not going to hate on or say that, one person's decision or what they did is stupid or whatever. You get to decide what you want to do. I'm only going to address things where you're like, what's your opinion? That kind of thing. Share with you my approach, my strategy, my goals. But what I'm about to say, and I just said all that to say that, hey, if I bought in at 0.0001 and could pull in $10 million or even $1 million, I've said this a couple of other times, most likely if I got to the point where I had $500,000 or $1 million in profit, quote unquote, I would at least take some of that out. I mean, obviously, if I felt that Dogecoin had another 5x or 10x in it, I'd wait, but I would take some of that money. I think that's prudent, or that would be prudent for me. The way that I plan on approaching it. It may not be the right thing for everyone, but you can have diamond hands or paper hands. I don't really care, and I got off track in my mind. But the other thing I was going to mention, you go on some of these Discord sites, and they're basically telling people that sold that they're stupid and all of that, and there's no way to know. There's no way for me to know why someone sold necessarily, unless they told me. And then, even then, I wouldn't call them stupid. I mean, it's their decision. So anyway, it's just funny, right? The psychology of all this and how different people think about it all. Oh, sorry. So a sale and purchase is the only way for it to flow. Yep. Hey, Carlos, by the way, thanks for joining. I'm not 100% certain, but this may be your first time on the stream as well. Glad you're here. Thanks for joining. We're almost 3 hours into it, and I guess we're just getting started. As long as we have some comments coming in, we'll go until there's a point where I know I got to go to bed to get some sleep. But dyslexic boba, dark whale has been manipulating it. So I'm curious if you want to say more, because they bought it. Or let's be real, right? They bought it. I guess they can sell it anytime they want. As much as I would like to be in their shoes, I'm not. I'm on my own path with regards to Dogecoin, and I'm not saying you. I'm not interpreting what you're saying and then saying you're saying this, but I'd like to believe I'm not jealous about their particular situation. I'm just going to do what I can do to do what I can do to hopefully get into a life-changing, quote-unquote, situation for myself. I would love for everyone on this stream and everyone involved in Dogecoin, at least, quote-unquote, the common person, because those whales already have probably all the resources they'll ever need, but the common man, if I can just use that term, I would love to see every one of you, get to the point where this Dogecoin that you have would bring, a life-changing event where you could be financially free and, do whatever you're passionate about doing. Who wouldn't want that? Hey, Carlos, I'm glad you found me on Twitter. If you follow me, if you haven't, like I said earlier, I'll have to go back later and look at people that have followed me over the last couple of days. I will definitely follow you back. So I don't see that as a sub for sub, if you will, kind of thing. You guys are obviously actively involved. You're coming to the stream, you're spending your time listening to me, and we're conversing, through the chat. So, sub for sub is not something I'm generally into, but I don't really consider that sub for sub. So I will definitely be finding you if you've followed me on Twitter, and will follow you back. Good content so far. Hey, you know how to be kind. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm the evening shift. Kind of my joke, because I'm probably right now the smallest of the bunch of streamers that are, talking about Dogecoin and the cryptocurrency ecosystem, broadly speaking. And I'm also going to be talking about, and do talk about, at least a select number of equities at times. So I'm super pumped that we've got people coming in here. At least at this point in time, I can keep up with the comments. My best night so far had about 41 people on, and literally for 4 hours straight, it was comment after comment. We addressed them all, but it took 4 hours to get through it. That was a pretty cool night. But we're going at a really good pace tonight. So search Doge Live. Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming in. I'm glad that you searched. I'm glad that you were able to find it. That's encouraging to know that you were able to find it. So I'm more than willing to pay my dues, if you will, if going on at night when no one else is when no one else is talking, then that's the way that I'll go about it. And I'm just happy to be able to share something that's a passion of mine, something that's interesting to me. I'm just kind of wired to share thoughts, ideas, knowledge, all of that, with the hope that it will be in some way or another helpful to someone else. So that's what kind of drives me. Yeah, Carlos, that's a really good point. We talked about that last night, about the trends as over the weekend, while Bitcoin and Ethereum and even some of the smaller ones, Cardano, XRP, and others were on a downward trend. Although Dogecoin, didn't do quote unquote stellar, it was still, if I remember the numbers right, still about a 6% at about a 6%, while again Bitcoin and the others were taking a massive hit. So there is at times, I think, maybe some correlation, but here's the reality, and we talked about this earlier in the stream as well. If we're going to be, I think, real about it, a lot of the reason that Dogecoin has done so well is because of things like Elon Musk. Elon Musk's tweet. Now, here's the interesting thing about that. It's not like he's tweeted 1,000 times. He's certainly, added, if you will, to the conversation, if you want to think of it that way. And he is the richest man in the world. And yes, he owns Tesla, so he's got a lot of clout in that sense, if you will. But there's been days where he's not tweeted anything and Dogecoin's done great, had really, really good days. So I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that he's quote unquote a necessary catalyst, but obviously as an investor in Dogecoin, I will take a tweet from Elon Musk any day, especially if it's positive on Dogecoin. Now, it would be super interesting, and I hope that day never comes where he has something bad to say about it. It's very possible that the opposite, obviously, right? The opposite action might happen. But yes, to the moon. I've said this earlier. I actually like to go to the Twitter feed, and look at the Dogecoin tag, if for no other reason, to see all the creative memes. I mean, again, that just shows how devoted and what a great, thing to be a part of, if you will. With that many people in it, then I think it's going to keep, going strong. And that's the kind of environment I think you want to be in if you have a long view and you're looking to invest and you want something to, again, potentially be something that's truly life-changing, at least from the financial aspect. I think it would be, not talking about it holistically if I didn't say that, and this is a philosophical thing, but, I believe at least that money, the increase in money for someone only amplifies who they already are. So, not going to get into that any deeper than that, but in other words, the point is I don't, some people don't want to talk about money because of how many people out there use it actually in the wrong way or only in a selfish way and all of that. But, I'll just leave it to say that money in the hands of, someone that's well-rounded and not only looking to do something for them, but to do something for others, I think is an amazing thing. But equally amazing, honestly, is the fact that we get to decide, right? So I hope for anyone and everyone, and I think even there's been an acronym, right, from Doge, and I've not thought through it and didn't actually catch on it until today, I think, but doing something like doing a good thing every day, right, or something like that. So I can get behind that. I think that's a great way of looking at it. Watch how Fortnite grew because of trends when everyone said it sucked. I also know people are getting what they think is free money with their stems. Yeah, I read it. We read an article earlier that suggested that they thought that a lot of people were using their stimulus money to buy Dogecoin. Maybe I don't know how they could really know that unless they did some polls and things. I mean, I think people are honestly, a lot of people that are getting the stimulus checks, probably buying TVs and all that kind of thing, and it's their choice to make, right? Don't get me wrong. I would actually hope that more, and this article almost talked like it's a bad thing because obviously it's skewed. The article is biased and skewed towards still thinking that Dogecoin is still kind of a joke and kind of ridiculous, but I think it's actually a good thing for people to invest their stimulus money, in my mind, better than buying something that's going to, just entertain you. Again, nothing wrong with it, but maybe it's better to say, if I was to receive stimulus money, I would probably put it into some kind of investment that would ultimately return me more than what I got. So for me, that might be a new video camera because it makes my production that much better, or a second, I've got one camera right now, a second camera, so I can have a wide angle view or a top view when I'm doing product demos, all the kind of things. So there's invest back into yourself would be the best thing. If I was given the opportunity or asked to give advice, that's what I would say. So Dogecoin is about to pay for my first house. That's great, man. Yep. That's great. I love that as well. You bring up a good point, Carlos. It'll be very interesting to see over the, years to come. Not only we're already seeing, and I hope America, the United States, obviously doesn't fall into the same, do the same thing that other countries are doing. I think Turkey will let you still invest in cryptocurrencies, but you can't use it as a form of payment. So I guess what that means is you can invest in it, and if you divest of it or sell it or take profits, then obviously it goes back into their currency, which is failing right now, as I understand it. So, and then Russia, I've heard, if I've heard right, I think they're also making it illegal to use it as a way to buy and sell things. And, it's these governments basically admitting that their currencies are failing and they're creating these inflationary environments, and yet they still want to control their citizens by not allowing them to use something that is arguably a hedge against inflation. So I just hope, since I live here in the United States, I would hope it for any country that they wouldn't do that, but who knows what they're going to do. So that is also potentially, I'm not saying this for sure, that might be a reason at some point to take some profits and put them into hard assets, like Carlos is saying, like a house, other things. I may want to do some of that because we never really know exactly what our governments potentially are going to do with regards to cryptocurrencies. I think it's almost without dispute, even with something like Dogecoin, although there is a certain aspect of inflation built into it, I think it's still acceptable the way that it's designed. But especially with something like Bitcoin, it's a store of value, and it's continuing to appreciate. And there are many that are saying that it's going to get up to 200,000 at some point. So that's why if they're right, I'm not saying they're right, but if they're right, that tells me that even if it's fractional, a fraction of a Bitcoin, I think it makes sense to invest some of your money in Bitcoin. I will donate a good portion of my gains. Way to go, Carlos. That's admirable. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. We should have more equality in the world. Dogecoin is the only way. Certainly Dogecoin is an amazing way. I think some of the other cryptocurrencies also help with that some. This democratization, if you will, the term that's used a lot, I think, for basically what you're saying. Again, I said this last night, I'll probably repeat it a couple other nights, not because I'm paid by Robinhood or anything like that, but, even with all the problems with Robinhood, and I'm not saying this is enough to keep you on the platform. I'm not saying that at all. People have exited Robinhood, say they will never go back. Perfectly fine with that. It's their decision to make. But had Robinhood not come along, do you think that we'd be able to buy cryptocurrency on some of these exchanges completely free? No, we wouldn't, right? Even if they're taking a little bit off the top, let's think about that for a minute. It's probably still much, much cheaper and not money out of our pocket, technically. Let's say a TD Ameritrade, they started getting to the point before Robinhood even of having low trade commission, $6.95 or whatever it would be, and that was only because within their own industry, other brokerage houses, basically wanted to compete on price and get more business and all that. It's about the only way. In other words, they were able to compete. But when Robinhood came along, they're like, we're going to democratize this. In other words, make it available to anyone, where they're not giving up $12 of a round-trip transaction, or $20 or $25 of a round-trip transaction to the brokerage house for, in many ways, doing almost nothing, because those transactions cost them, in many cases, pennies. Ultimately, they had already recouped their cost for software and for hardware and all the things, and so I guarantee you they were making a killing. So Robinhood's got their problems, but they have inspired, I guess, other companies like them, like Webull. There are probably others that I don't know about that have made investing in cryptocurrencies and other stocks, made it much more broadly available. Very possible, Carlos. I think that as long as it can be used to buy goods and services, then in essence, it becomes at least an alternative. At least an alternative with, again, more and more merchants. I'm just going to use that term, but with more and more merchants through BitPay, it looks like is a big intermediary, if you will, for that. As a go-between, you're going to be able to use, it's pretty amazing to think that at some point I would not want to spend most of my Dogecoin at this point in time on goods and services. I would much rather accumulate it. But when you're talking about a home, for example, or paying off a home, those kinds of things, we're talking about, fully paying off an asset that will be worth money, all those kind of things. Those are different kind of decisions. I just don't see myself, if others want to, it's perfectly fine. I don't see myself buying a coffee with Dogecoin unless we're looking at it 10 years from now and, I've maybe pulled $1 million out and I've still got $1 million of Dogecoin in a wallet at that point, then maybe. But I don't see myself, quote unquote, spending Dogecoin. I might do it once or twice, just especially since I stream about it. I'll change my statement a little bit. I probably will do it once or twice just to say that I have, so that I could tell people what the experience was like, that type of thing. But as an ongoing, regular occurrence, that would not be my approach. But it's fine that someone else that wants to. Coinbase is next. Yeah, I hope they're next. I think that it will make a big difference. I say big difference. I don't know how to quantify how big, but I think if Coinbase decides to list, they're already doing the due diligence from what I understand. There are developers working on the code to get it up to the standards that Coinbase requires, and it's probably just a matter of time. They probably would have done it today if they'd been ready with all the hype, right? But when they do it, I think it's going to make a big difference with regards to the price. It may be temporary, but these catalysts sometimes basically have the effect, because if we showed that, in essence, that graph, right, of how long, even within this year, how long Dogecoin was basically flat for the most part, and then this drastic, and continuing upward trend. Some of these, you get these new levels, quote unquote, of consolidation, and you get to a point where it's never going to get below a certain price. Right? Alexander was mentioning, now I don't know if Alexander's still on, I think it was him that was mentioning, hey, it's not going to get below 30, so you better buy now. He may be right, he may be wrong, but the point is, it's true that, some of these, most of your investments have a support level where it's not going to go below that, and it's only going to, go up from that at some rate, and then up and down, but not below that. So that's honestly what caused me to, quote unquote, panic about getting back in. Had I waited a little bit, I could have easily saved 10 cents a coin, but I'm happy that I'm back in, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Yeah, I agree, Carlos. I mentioned as well, and you might have already been on, or you might have been on when I mentioned it today, and it was probably just a glitch because Webull literally just made it available to everyone on their platform today. Webull, or it was actually technically tomorrow in my time zone, made Dogecoin available to everyone. There's probably still some glitches because Robinhood, most of the day, Dogecoin was actually cheaper on Robinhood than it was on Webull. But as much as I actually hate the fact that, there's a number of people that have had their problems with Robinhood, I've not had any yet, but that's not to say that it won't happen to me at some point. And I'm going to mention one other thing as soon as I take a drink here. This will be a repeat for some, but I actually discovered today that Robinhood, unless I'm missing something, Robinhood has a much better buying power process. You can think of it as credit as you want, but I mean, as long as if you're transferring money in from your bank into Robinhood, and it's truly money that's going to be there when the transfer actually settles, they basically give you, with the standard account, up to $1,000 of that transfer immediately. Webull, for cryptocurrencies at least, doesn't. I mean, you don't get the immediate buying power up to any amount, and you only get to use basically the cash that you have in. I say basically the cash because it's literally cash that's in there in the moment, or money that came from you selling something on the platform, and then that has actually settled, cleared, and that can take up to 3 days. And the transfer from a bank can take 3 to 5 business days. So I was going to buy some Dogecoin on Webull today. I actually got the beta. A few days ago, and I transferred some money over the weekend. It's still not available to me, buying power wise. So I was really unhappy about that. Newegg, yes, they do accept it. I saw that today as well. Going to get a desktop computer. That's cool. What are you going to get? I'm curious. I'm curious if they carry MSI. I'm really big. I've been studying because I'm going to get a new laptop here before long, and since I do, video editing and Photoshop, Illustrator, streaming, all the kind of things, I'm heavily considering getting what's called an MSI Creator version, but I'm curious what you're going to get. I actually have, and I don't recommend it, I'm not saying that's what you're going to get, but I have the HP Spectre 360 or whatever it is, and I get the blue screen of death. It seems like once a day. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's workable most of the time, but literally right now while I'm streaming, it could happen. So if it does, you guys hang. And the one thing I do like about it has solid state drives, so it comes back up pretty quick. But I need to have another laptop before I send this one in. It has a warranty, but I can't be without a computer because I need it for my work. I might do a drop now, so be aware in case you guys want to buy more at the dip. Cool, man. Yep, that's true. Carlos, do you have, I'm just curious. You don't have to just ignore the question if you don't want to answer, and I completely understand, but do you have the gold? I have it for the 30 days. I've not decided yet whether I'm going to keep it or not. I believe it's $5 a month. So, again, depending on your strategy, it might be worth it. It's funny. I still got someone watching on Twitch, so I don't know who it is, but would love to hear your thoughts, because I have not seen a comment. I can kind of tell where the comments are coming from. So, well, let me look here. Oh, it's me. No, it's not me. Yeah, I don't know who's on Twitch, but anyway. I'm glad you're there, and I hope you're getting some value out of this. I just don't see you. Haven't seen any comments from anyone on Twitch, but okay, that's cool, Carlos. I'm likely to keep it, obviously, as long as I'm making over $5 a month, and at least even just paper money, it's probably worth it. I would love to see Robinhood actually come out with a interface similar to Webull. I honestly like both of them in some ways, as far as two different views, but I don't really want to transact with two different ones. And as I've mentioned before, I'm sorry I'm stretching a little bit. It's amazing what happens when you just sit for 3 hours straight. But I'm really longing for one exchange that has all of the crypto that I'm currently interested in, and then obviously the equities. So the equity side of it between Robinhood and Webull are probably pretty comparable. I've not really found a situation where between Robinhood and Webull I couldn't buy a particular stock, but neither Robinhood nor Webull has Cardano, for example. I don't know why that is. I'm probably going to break down and find another, even if it's Coinbase, but Coinbase, I think Coinbase has Cardano, but they don't have XRP right now. Coinbase doesn't. Webull doesn't. Robinhood doesn't. I mean, I know why they don't, because I know they've been in some, having some issues with the SEC at this point in time. But you're right. Yeah, I remember that now, Carlos. I think it's like, I remember seeing some of the breakdowns. 25, if you have 25,000 invested, you get a certain amount, and there's different ranges. So I remember that now. You know what? I hope I'm going to pull up a ticker here. You guys, if you will hang with me. Not worth keeping if you're not moving large amounts of money, in my opinion. All of this. Yep, that's true. I'm going to bring up something. I need to take a bio break. I hope you guys will stay, but I've got this little running ticker now down at the bottom saying taking a break. Be right back. I'm going to turn up the music, and you guys maybe want to take a break as well. Hope you'll stay or walk away and come back here in just a second. I'll be right back. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do one other thing that will make this a little bit better. Let's pull up Webull here, and you guys can watch the movement. And I'm going to put it on the 1 minute. That way we can kind of watch it. I'll be right back. Well, I am back, and I'll turn the music back down. But I thought of something while I was taking my short, quick break that is digressing away from the topic, but I thought I would share it with you because it's kind of interesting. And if you're into streaming or thinking about streaming, this might be of interest to you. But last night, I'm going to turn the music down a little bit more. Last night, on the stream, I played a very short clip from YouTube, or one of those, and the YouTube video that I played had some music, either intro, outro, or in the background, happened to be from a royalty-free music site called Epidemic Sound, but you have to pay for that, a monthly service. And since I was playing that, and it was actually able to discover that music was playing, and from Epidemic Sound, they put a copyright claim on my video, and they have a quote unquote beta thing where you can remove the song. They tell you, from minute 135 to minute 140 or whatever the range of time is, you can actually tell it to either replace the music or to just remove it. And that happened. It was a stream that I was just running overnight to capture history, if history was made, once I went to bed, with regards to Dogecoin maybe hitting 50. And anyway, I got that copyright claim, and that's just really a mess. It's, for a creator, it can be really problematic, because if you're just trying to show a short clip of another video, it could cause that video to not be monetized, which could be a big deal if it's a video that's seen 1 million times, for example, and or you need the watch hours to get into the partner program or something like that. So anyway, so it looks like we still got everybody here, which is cool. And I'm gonna turn off this there we go. Okay, let's get back to the comments. We wait. Hey, thanks for waiting. What do we talk about next? It's 33 right now. It's very possible that, again, when the average person in America, let's say, at least goes to sleep, which many of them already are, but let's just say around 2 or 3:30 Central Standard Time, at least, it's, very possible that we could start seeing a spike, or we could not. I'm not talking about necessarily some huge spike. We could, though. It could easily, get up to 40. It could just as easily, hover between 33 and 35. Who knows? But I'm hoping tomorrow that my buying power, if you will, gets completed on Webull, just so that I can make my first trade on there. But I've not honestly decided yet. I will probably, since it's a big part of what I'm talking about right now and will be give me more context, I will probably just buy Dogecoin on there. The one thing I don't like, and I've mentioned this earlier, but I know we've got some new people on. The one other thing that I don't like about Webull, if I'm understanding it fully, is your limit order is only for the day. In other words, there's a drop down. Actually, I'm going to show you guys. Why not, right? You don't necessarily need to see me in full screen, but I'm going to turn picture in picture off because you won't be able to see it. But down here, you can see a limit price, and then time in force. It says a day order is an order that automatically expires at, if not executed on the day. They do not automatically carry over the next trading day. The only option that I have is day. On Robinhood, and you could argue that it's equally bad, but on Robinhood, it's good for 90 days unless you cancel it. And I think that's the only option you have. So there's pros and cons from both of these platforms just with regards to features and functions. I'm not talking about some of the other issues that that we know Robinhood has had. You know, Robinhood has had problems with, there was one day, it's been 2 or 3 days ago, where the price of Dogecoin was not updating at all, so it was just flat when that's not what was really going on in the market. But so there were a lot of people that couldn't buy or sell or do whichever transaction they were trying to do. And so that was problematic. And there's been a couple of times where, at least for a little bit, Dogecoin could not be bought or sold and all of that. But one of the things that I think is highly anticipated, and I think this, you guys tell me what you think, but I think this will go a long ways to appeasing some of the people, if you will, and that is they're working on, and Carlos, I'll answer your question here in just a second, but they're working on making a wallet available. So I think that'll help, because then if I understand how that works, you could, then do whatever you want to with that. So that would be good. I don't know if Webull has a wallet yet, but Carlos, you're asking, is it free? It is free. And by the way, I'll just say, these are some of the small things that you can do if you want to support this channel. I do have a link in the description, but it's strammel.info, just like this, strammel.info, but it's strammel.info/Webull, and it's WEBULL, or again, you can go into the description and click on the link. But it's free. Transactions are free. There are things like level 2 data and some other things that you can choose to buy on a subscription basis, but it's free, no commissions. Very similar, I think, to Robinhood in that sense. Again, the buying power thing doesn't seem to be as good as Robinhood. Great interface, though. I just showed it here a few minutes ago. I really like the fact that you can do technical analysis. You can actually draw your support lines and all those kinds of things. So that's really cool. I think even the guy Meet Kevin, I think that's his channel. I think he's got, 2 million subscribers or something like that. Does sometimes 9 or 10, I think, live streams a day. And really good channel, don't get me wrong, but I think he uses Webull, for example. Another guy that I follow quite a bit had been talking about Webull. I finally signed up for it, got it. Again, I haven't made my first purchase yet, but here's the other thing. Carlos, you get your first stock, so you get free stocks with them, just like Robinhood. You get your first free stock just by opening up an account with them. You don't even have to put money in there yet. Now, once you put your first $100 in there, you get, I think, 1 or 2 more, but you can get up to 2 free stocks, I believe, or maybe it's even 3. That's 2. On Webull, it's 2, worth up to $1,850. And since you're on Robinhood, you probably know that you can get up to 2 or 3 up to 3 stocks on Robinhood for a value of up to $500. So it's not quite as generous on that aspect of it. But to do that, you have to basically get someone else to use your link. So it'd be awesome if you go sign up for Webull. You get a free stock. I get a free stock. We all win something. You may never buy. You may never use it to transact, but you do get that application. that you can use, which I really like. I think tomorrow Doge will be back to 40. That's cool. You got to tell me why, though. That's what free gets us. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, free's not always really free, but whatever. Have you seen? Speaking of that, have you seen the TurboTax ad? Free, free, free. I like the one with the auctioneer. He's basically, going like you would hear these auctioneers talking the way they talk, and instead of it being a price and it's going up and up and up, it's free. It's the word free over and over again. It's just really cool. I think it's one of the best ads out there. But yeah, I keep hearing about KuCoin, Leonardo, and I think it's probably you that has been the one that's mentioning it, but I do want to know more about it. So let's see. Look at the website one day. You can do trading bot. Okay, margin, pool. Tell me about pool. I don't know what pool is. I know what margin is. Trading bot. I'm curious what you mean by that. Maybe that's where you can set certain trigger points maybe to buy or sell. That's cool. They have a lot of activities with rewards and prizes. You can buy and sell coins. Staking and future brawl. So when you say staking, do you mean actually where you're where basically you can earn interest on whatever amount you set aside for staking? So I think that's pretty cool potentially. I keep hearing some of these other platforms where people are saying that it's not all it's cracked up to be for whatever reason, but I like the thought of earning interest on your crypto especially if you're a long-term kind of hodler. Why not earn 6% along with the appreciation? So I need to look into it. So tell me, I got one other question, if you don't mind. And now you're saying yes, and unfortunately I'm not sure what you're saying yes to. Maybe the bot part, but what's pool? And also, is it free? In other words, is it commission free, or is there a commission structure? Yeah, Carlos. Yeah, you've seen it as well. I love that commercial, actually. Yes, on staking. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in that, honestly. And so obviously KuCoin has must have Dogecoin on there. Do they have XRP? Do you know? And Cardano? Obviously, I can look it up myself. I'm just curious. Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be real interesting. It's free. Okay, I definitely got to go check it out then. For sure. Is it US based? I'm just curious. I'm going to, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to let's go to Twitter here just real quick, and let's see if there's anything trending. Just curious. I'm also really actually quite curious about this Venmo thing. If they would add Dogecoin to that, I think that would be pretty cool. Not that I would, like I mentioned, honestly, not that I would use it all that much, but it's a cool story, and it's another again, it's another notch in the belt for Dogecoin as far as I'm concerned. It would help, I think. Okay, here we go. Let's do at least a little scrolling and see what we can see here. Coinbase, yeah. Hey, we will retweet that. Coinbase, add Dogecoin. We will say yes, please, and let them know that we're live. Let's see if they would come on over. I've actually found that this actually works. Again, I hope that most people don't see that as spam. I don't really want to upset people, but I'm also trying to let people know that I'm out there. Have you guys seen this? Looks like it's the same thing that I'm about to talk about, but in a different language, but I don't see the link for it. There's been this, all these people that have been posting this quote unquote investment group, that's pumping Dogecoin, and then they have a link to a Discord server. And when you just click right on it, if it would pull up, it obviously tries to pull up Discord, the web interface of it, and every time when I try to say accept the invite, it says unacceptable or whatever. And I tried for the first time with the app to cut and paste not one of those, because I think that's some type of a spammy kind of thing, or maybe even some type of scam kind of thing, because whatever. But it's interesting how it was not accepting my request. Also, just curious, how many of you on right now participate in any of the any of the Discord stuff? I was in one today. Again, it's probably the one that has, a lot of people in it, and the comments and the chat part of it were just flying through so fast that I don't even know. That's probably more people just sharing their thoughts, which again is fine, but I don't see how you have meaningful dialogue when you got that many. Okay. Not a lot exciting that I haven't already seen, but I like this one. What a spectacular day. Just 2 minutes ago. Okay, hodl onto your faith in Dogecoin and the community. After trending on Twitter and holding our ground against the shorts, we are healthy and as strong as ever. So, we're at 34, not a bad place to be. I'm replaying the Snoop Dogg Dogecoin video till I fall asleep. Okay, that's only 2 minutes ago, so I'm going to say, come join us on YouTube. We are live now. Maybe this person will come and join our conversation. Okay, I'm going to stop now and return to you guys because you're actually here. Okay, I see that I do have some to catch up to here. It's free. Okay, it's better than the bank, I think. Yes, definitely better than the bank. I mean, I think a lot of banks you're not even getting 1% in most cases. 6% seems to be the lowest that I typically see. And PullX is basically the area to do skating and lock down money for a long time. Okay, some coins give you rewards for holding them. Okay, that's really cool. I definitely got to look into Qcoin then. Definitely got to look into it. Do they have a referral program? Do you have a link? More than happy to take it. Because if I sign up for it and you have a link and you get some kind of credit for it, that would be great. Don't even have Discord. Yeah. I don't use it that much. I wanted to participate today just to kind of have the experience have a little bit of context. But like I said, it's so fast moving that it's kind of hard to find it very useful for me. Everybody's different. Okay, yeah. Do lending 7, 14, 30 days. Sounds like they got a lot of interesting features that probably keep some people on that platform because it's it's more than just your plain Jane average thing. So I'm curious. I guess when you're staking, though, I mean, Leonardo, I'm curious. Do you with KuCoin, do your coins have to stay on the platform? Can you transfer them into a wallet? I'm also assuming while they're being loaned out that in a sense they're not yours. I mean, all those things I'm just curious about. I'm sure there's good answers for all of them. I've also, and I don't remember which platform, but I heard of another platform. I think it might have been crypto.com, but I've heard some bad things about them as well. But it might have been them or another one where you can literally do this loan kind of thing, and it's just literally even for seconds, which sounds kind of crazy, but in other words, you get to pick. I don't think you even have to pick the term. You just set it to where until you say otherwise, you're basically earning interest on it. And the minute you want to take it out of that program, you can take it out. So they're really getting pretty innovative with all this stuff. So this will be fun. Let me I'll do one other thing here real quick. Let me I saw this earlier, but I didn't actually bring it up. I thought this was pretty cool. In the last 24 hours, these brands have posted about Dogecoin. Please comment below any that were missed or who have tweeted since the time of posting. So I saw the Snickers. I did not see the Milky Way. I've seen the Slim Jim. I've seen Newegg. I've not seen BitPay per se. I know they do it, and I've also seen Axe. So I'm really kind of curious. I'm going to go to I want to go to BitPay and see what they've posted specifically. Oh, okay. I guess this is maybe the way that they have posted about Dogecoin. This BitPay seems to be the common denominator or the glue for a lot of these merchants / companies to be able to take Dogecoin or a number of other cryptocurrencies. BitPay customers can now buy crypto with zero fees when they use Simplex, whatever that is. Learn more. Unbounce, BitPay, landing. There's just so many options now. I don't even know. Oh, okay. For one, that's exclusively for Europe, so that's not going to do me any good, but that's awesome for the world with regards to cryptocurrency generally speaking and specifically for Dogecoin. Coin Market Cap, I think, is a great website, so I'm going to follow them as well. CoinDesk, I think, is also a good source for information. I'm curious real quick. Coin Market Cap, I wonder what they've said about Dogecoin in the most recent past. That's their website is the one that I typically use when I want to highlight the market cap standings and all those kind of other things. All right, go back to where I was here, out of BitPay. All right, enough of that. Yeah, I don't know, Carlos. That's a really good question. My guess is that, and I could have misunderstood it. My guess, here's what I'm guessing. Maybe the fact is they have enough people, or maybe they've done some analysis or something. Yeah, I don't know. That gives them an idea of, people coming and going, that they know enough of what is consistently in there that they can loan out. But I understand. No terms. Yeah. Okay. So, hey, if anyone on here, whether you're watching the replay or, if you're still on here live and you want to check out KuCoin, is it QCoin.com? But anyway, use Leonardo's link, and I'm going to cut and paste this, because if I don't, anyway, okay. I'm going to physically write it down, so you guys hold on. I think people are deciding to call it a night. Might be time for me to do the same thing. And you probably already gave this to me, Leonardo, so I apologize. 3U1T8. I'm definitely going to look into that. If you don't mind me asking, what do you get with the referral? Do you earn currency? Yeah, what do you get? Me too, I'm tired. Yeah, well, you guys should call it a quit whenever you're ready. We're almost 4 hours into this. I think we'll probably go ahead and end the stream. I think it's time to call it quits and see what, get some sleep so that we can look into, or be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for tomorrow. It's going to be another day. I will put up in the card up there later, when I can add it, a link to the playlist. If you guys want to play that, go through that later. Do appreciate you being here. A lot of you have been consistent, being on for some part of the stream for almost 7 nights straight. So we will be back tomorrow for day 92, and we'll see what Dogecoin does tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Have a good one. Bye.